Hello there. Oh, hello, Mr. Mission. How you doing? Mhm. Hmm. Tonight is just gonna be a chill night. I'm gonna tell some stories, or maybe I'll have guests come in to tell stories. It just depends on who shows up. I'm not worried about it one bit. and I'm just watching the rain outside my window make the cars and the pavement look all shiny and um really it's just a chill night. Gonna discuss maybe a few things that came up. I'm in my easy chair. Might discuss a few things that are coming up in the world, like some things that I told you was gonna happen right here on this show, and darn if it didn't happen. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that. And it's always somehow seems like it's mostly raining for the full moon. If you want to get a look at the moon, you got to look at the night before. I was going to go out and look, and of course, it was raining. Oh, geez. It always is when we have a full moon. It's just somehow. Now, I know that back in the day, uh, uh, we had one grandmother Londa, and she would do the deer dance. And every time she did the deer dance, it would rain, right? Well, I don't need to do the deer dance to make it rain myself, but that's how she did it. Oh my goodness, they just take up the whole thing here. Boy, this is hard to do on a phone. Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben, what's up? Witchy Moon is in. Mr. Mission Control is in. The Ocean's Deep. Woo, who the heck is that? She's in here, though. And then there's Ben. Okay. So y'all are showing up. That's good. I just want to make sure you know that we got Alexander the Ganja Shaman coming in on Wednesday. And he's going to do numerology. If you don't know your numerology, that doesn't matter because he will do your chart for you for free. And so that's going to be a massively fun time too. We'll always have a fun time when he comes in. And we're actually having a lovely day here in America. It's really not a bad day in America. And I'm I'm happy. Let me get the channel on over here. Now I want I'm I'm happy. Let me get the noise turned down here so that I'm not echoing. Okay. Now, that thumbnail that I show you there in the yeah, before you come in. I don't know how good of a look you got at that, but that is actually a picture of hey, yeah, I'm going to put out the link pretty soon, Ben, so don't go anywhere. Don't y'all go anywhere because you're going to have your chance to come up and say something. But that picture is a picture of two Bigfoot. It actually is. And Robin McCrae backed that up, and they backed it up that it was a picture of them. But that is how hard it is to see them when they're camouflaged. Those two dark shapes, those two dark, fuzzy looking shapes down there are two Sasquatch down under the trees there. and they're all like squatted down, just chilling. And so now ask me, are they Bigfoot? Oh, gee. Now, see, that's something I'm going to get into tonight is how things are for me from my point of view, from my vantage point, how it is kind of to be me. And people ask these questions, right? The reason the camera is away from me is because I just don't feel like being. I just want a chill night, if that's okay with you guys. You know, I can turn the camera around for a minute and show you me, but it's nothing special. I mean, I don't even, I'm just leaning back and enjoying life. I think I deserve that, though, honestly. Hey, Jamie's Cowboys, how you doing? Okay, while people are filing in, I'm going to run the intro because guess what? I'm on StreamYard, so I can run my info thing here and my little intro and I can do that. Okay, so I am going to do it, and then we're going to get into giving you the link so you can click in, and then we're going to go on with the show. Well, Ben, I did love Mad Season. It didn't last long. Unfortunately, neither did Lane Staley, but you had too much coffee today. Hey, mister, then you should be able to write out the whole show. That's great. So, yeah, I hope y'all don't mind because honestly, I just don't feel like being seen tonight. I feel like sitting here in my nightie, just watching the rain. I got my salt lamp on. I got my little light that throws all the pretty colors up on the ceiling, and I got my daylight light over there for the plants. That's that purplish one you see um, right there, and that's enough light for me. And then I got my red light on in the back, and don't say it. No, it's not that kind of red light. It's for red light therapy. So, actually, I just thought I would come in on StreamYard where we can click in if we want to and talk. You can come in if you want to, Ben. I know you usually have something to say. So, did you get that link? Did that link come up? Yeah, your grandmother's house was very haunted. You know what? I lived in haunted houses most of my life. Most of my life until I moved here. And then I finally, all of the, there aren't, this place is totally clear. No haunting. Nothing. Okay, I'm going to put the link in again. Here you go. It didn't come up the first time. But if you're looking to come in and say a few words, you are welcome to do that. All you have to do is click the link, and I will hopefully see you back. But if for some reason I get distracted and don't see you back in backstage, just type something in the regular chat and I'll look for you. Okay. So let me turn the beat around. Yeah, I got one of these little pillows that you use for putting your computer on there. That's a little bit more centered. Okay. Hey, you know what I might do for a minute? Here we go. Okay, I just had to do that because I only get to do it when I'm on StreamYard. So I told you guys that things were going to be like way different. I told you we're at the end of an age. One of the things I did predict is don't worry about China, it's going to come around. Everybody's tariff wars, tariff wars. If World War III was tariff wars, we won it. Okay, we already won. Because China's already coming around. Everybody else did too. So, it's like I said, we're done with crap mostly. There's going to be a few more runs at us. There's going to be some ups and downs, but it's not going to be anything like it used to be because we have the upper hand now. The age has shifted out of the Kali Yuga, and we are now in a different age, and it is going to be different from here on out. It'll never be quite as dark ever, even at its worst. Yet, I do want to tell you this is a very odd thing I've noticed. I have been feeling better, a little bit better every day. For one thing, I think it's because every day I get up and something has improved in the USA. And something's happened and it's good. And I'm like, wow, although people will try to tell you it's bad, they always seem to want to make it something bad. But today, it was prescription prices down. We're going to be paying the same prescription prices as everybody else. Not that that matters too much for me. I don't even take prescription drugs. You know, I'm a senior. I don't take drugs much. All I take is once in a while, I take some generic Claritin. That's the only medication I'm on at all, ever. And I hardly ever even take that. So, not that it matters that much to me, but I think it matters a lot to a lot of people, okay? Because we've been getting jacked around for way too long. And so that was a good thing that came up today. Actually, there's all kinds of good things coming up. And you know, my general MO now is to just not pay attention to anything except the good stuff that's coming up. There are some people that are very angry to find out things that we've known all along. And I'm just waiting to see Fauci in his brand new orange jumpsuit. That'd be nice, wouldn't you think? I think orange would go well on him. A nice orange jumpsuit for Fauci. That's what we need to see. Yeah, I can't hardly wait for that. And yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better every day. You know, for a while I was feeling worse. I think a lot of the evil is going out of the world too. Now, there are some people that just, I swear, they are living in a different world. They talk about the bifurcated earth. They talk about the split. Now, I don't know if some of you know about this, maybe some of you don't. But the theory is that the earth is basically dividing and going in two separate directions. There's going to be old earth, new earth. But see, I don't see it as a physical split. I see it as an energetic frequency shift. The fifth dimension is really a frequency, or 5D, or 5 density, or whatever you want to call it. I just call it frequency 5, okay? That freaky frequency 5. And I just look at it like it is an energetic thing. So it really doesn't have anything to do with a physical split. As a matter of fact, those of us who are going on from the 3D and are now in the 4D, and by the way, if you're vibing with this show, you're in the 4D already. You got a foot in there at least already. Okay. So if you're vibing with this kind of a show, you already in 4D. But now here's the thing. Circles are not these like orbs. Okay. Rather, I would call them more like an orb. They interpenetrate each other. Ooh, that sounds sexy, I know. They interpenetrate each other, and you are still a little bit in 3, but you are definitely in 4 now, if you can imagine. So you have, if you are vibing with this show, you have penetrated the barrier of 4, which means you have raised your frequency enough to start experiencing frequency 4 and 5. Okay. 5 is coming up. We will, when we are about in the middle of 4, we will be releasing 3 altogether. Some of us are already beginning to release 3, density 3, or whatever they want to call it. We're already beginning to do that and moving into fully into 4. Some of us are just starting in 4. Hey, Elderberry. Here comes Ben. I bet you it's Ben. Yes, it is. Add to stage. There he is.
Yeah, that's me.
Hello, Ben.
Hey, Mama D.
So, so basically, some of us are already in, are pretty firmly in 4, although you're still going to see some of 3. But now you're going to start to see some of 5D too, which is going to be real cool. You're going to like it. And I think we're already seeing some. Okay. But we'll talk about that a little later. What's on your mind, Ben?
I was just wondering, what what age? How did you know that you had a gift? And what age? Would you be open to talking about that?
What age did I know I had a gift? Now, which gift, though?
Um, like to be able to. I mean, can you tell me your? Can you talk about your like your? Nobody ever really. I've never heard your like biography about.
He wants to know my origin story.
Yeah, I mean your gifts, you know,
Oh,
because
thank you.
you're obviously gifted,
Well,
right?
thank you.
You're welcome, man. I've been knowing you for a long time, but I did not know that.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And if you said it before, you know, if
okay.
you have told a story before, you could
Well,
discount this, but I'd like to hear it.
I kind of have. But it's okay because I don't think everybody here has. And that's fine. So let us go forward that way. Some of you may not know, but even when I was a kid, there was something different about me, and my family knew that.
Hmm.
So basically, what it was that how they knew that there was going to be something different about this kid is because I was sitting there watching TV with my mom. I was watching a show, and I was only about, I think she said 6 months. I hadn't said a word yet, never made any funny little baby burble or anything. They were wondering, that's a kind of weird kid, right? But at least she's no trouble. So I'm watching TV, and suddenly I turn to my mom and I just say in a full sentence, yeah, I did that once. I was a fighter like that guy.
Oh, so reincarnation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And my mom just looked, and I remember, and I remember this incident. The thing is, I do remember this incident. I remember sitting there watching a show, and it was some kind of a, like, some kind of a war program, some kind of a program where it was soldiers fighting. It was like a prize fighter. It was like although she took it that way.
Yeah.
And she looked down at me and she said, "What did you say? What?" Is the first thing I ever said. was my
Wow.
reincarnation story,
Wow.
right? And I
Yeah.
said, it was a fighter like that guy. She said, oh, really? Put up your dukes and show me how you fight. And I'm like, what is she talking about? But then they got a picture of me with my hands in the air like I'm a fighter, prize fighter, and I was just barely sitting up. So
Wow.
you can imagine. So what she did was she put me on the phone with my grandma and my aunt. She said, would you like to talk to your aunt and your grandma? I said, sure. You know, that's sure. So she puts me on the phone, and my grandmother is like, okay, who is this? And my mom says, this is Diane. And Grandma says, no, it's not. You said she's only 6 months. I remember my grandma was like, no, she's too young. What's going on here? My mom said, no, that's her.
Mm.
And I got on and I just talked to her. I said, hi, Grandma. How are you? And she said, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. But what's your name? I said, Diane. And she's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. So she puts Martha on, my aunt. And my aunt, I talked to her. Hi, Aunt Martha. And later on, when my Aunt Martha was telling me this, she was just looking at me like, you were always a weird kid, and we knew it, right? We knew you were a weird kid.
I mean, weird
So,
or exceptionally smart? Really?
well, in my family, you got to realize to them, it probably was a little scary because they had a tendency to be sort of superstitious. So they're
Why? Why?
probably wondering why
Okay.
they had this little strange kid in there that just this alien sitting next to my mom. Although they weren't thinking alien, I'm knowing. But yeah, my grandma said, yeah, I knew you were a different kid. You were going to be a different kind of kid.
Are you an alien?
Yeah, I am actually. No,
Really?
I'm as much an alien as you are because we're all mixed up here on this planet. We're all hybrids.
I hear you. I hear
We
you.
all are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But uh, but it's funny because that story was told. Hello, Scotty. Hello, Chloe. The count us with the 1, 2, 3, but we just know her as Chloe. Woo! Chloe's here.
You sure do have the power of poetry for sure.
Well, thank you. And I do actually. I write songs and stuff too in poetry.
I know.
I
I
actually do
mean,
that.
we've been going back for a long time. I know you. I know you got good
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah. So I guess way back then, my grandma, when she would talk about, she'd say, yeah, I knew there was going to be something about you. There was something about you because of that, just to start. Okay. So that was my introduction to my family.
Okay,
Hi
what's that?
there. How you doing? So then from there,
Hmm.
of course, I had many uh experiences, but probably the next one is uh they take me to church. No, they put me in I'm trying to remember how that all happened. So I started singing really young. And it turned
Mm.
out I could sing pretty good pretty young, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I also had this weird thing where as soon as I was walking, I would pick up my mom. My mom had some Page Palmer exercise equipment. And one of the pieces of equipment was this really heavy metal bar, this steel bar that was for toning,
Hmm.
exercise equipment.
Hmm.
And she'd watch the TV and we'd do the exercise thing. And so I'd pick up this steel bar. I saw I'd just pick it up
So you
and
have
I'm waving it
superhuman
around.
strength too?
And she's looking at me like, put that down, you're going to hurt yourself. I said, oh no, I'm okay. you know,
Mm.
it's like, oh, I'm okay, but I put it down because she wanted me to. But when her guests would come, is every now and then I'd pull it out and I'd be playing with it, and they'd be going, "Should she really be playing with that?" And my mom would be like, "Well, she doesn't seem to be getting hurt because it had a rubber ball on each end."
Okay.
So so they'd be looking at me like, "You got a weird kid." Anyway, so yeah, I was super strong too as a kid, and
As it progresses, what really let you know that you have like the abilities that you have?
well, I started. Now we're going on a little bit in the story.
All right.
Okay, so as a little kid, I would my window in my bedroom had a window that when the moon would come over, the moon would shine right in my window, which was pretty nice. And every time the full moon would shine in my window, there was this lady that would come in on the beam,
Wait,
on the moonbeam, and she
can
was
you
all white, and she'd talk to me, and we'd have a conversation.
can you what lady? I mean, like what? Who do you think she was?
She never told me her name.
Oh, okay.
She was just a lady. She was all white. She'd come in on a moonbeam.
Okay.
She basically would we talk about just weird things like the weather and why it was that way, why it had to be that way, and
Yeah.
just things that talked and she said, "You know what, though, you're gonna be okay." So she'd kind of comfort me, and but she'd only show up on when the moon was shining in the window. So I
Mm.
have a feeling I know who she was. She might have been actually me. She
What?
might have actually been me
In a past
visiting
life?
myself. When I did, I in this life, this is gonna maybe blow your mind a little bit,
Mm, probably.
but when I I hit a certain age, and when I had found out that what you can do to help heal yourself is talk to your inner child, is talk to your child when you were younger, and help them along. That you can go back and do that. You can actually talk to your own child, your own you. But I didn't
Okay.
know at that time that I could bilocate. I didn't
Well,
know that I could
I
actually
still don't know that.
I didn't know that I could bilocate and actually go back there. This was supposed to be, I guess, some kind of exercise where you talk to
Okay.
a younger version of yourself, and
So, so you can impart knowledge to a younger version of yourself that
yeah.
that they didn't have, that you didn't have at the time.
Hmm.
Wow. I mean,
So
wouldn't it
yeah,
make?
you can do that, I guess.
Nah, I mean, wouldn't it make everybody's life perfect?
Um, well, you have to be in a certain receptive state to even be able to hear yourself do that. I mean, to even know that it happened.
Okay, I got you.
Like, I remember this white lady coming in and talking to me and, telling me things were going to be all right, even though no matter how they looked, because things looked pretty scary to me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
My dad had PTSD, and he had these fits of temper.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then there were other things going on. I had very scary and very alien dreams, let me tell you.
Hmm.
I had
Probably
dreams
much
that,
more than dreams.
hmm
I mean, we talked about this before.
yeah, I think they weren't just dreams, of course.
No, absolutely not.
Um, so I'm sitting, or actually, I'm lying there, and I think she might have been me because I was always saying things that were kind. She was always saying kind things to me, let's put it that way.
Yeah, yeah,
So it might have been me. I don't know. And
yeah.
because the full moon would have been the times when I would have been doing these things. I would have been going into meditation and thinking about healing my child self.
At that young age, or
Not at that young age, no. As I got older, when I got older and I started to
yeah.
learn about how to heal
Okay.
ourselves.
All right.
So it would have been on the full moon that was a good time to go and do that. And so that might have been why I only saw her on the full moon. And then after a while, I quit doing that, and she stopped coming. Maybe that's why she stopped coming. I don't know. Maybe I stopped doing the practice on full moons, and that's why I stopped seeing her.
What did she look like?
She just looked like a human, basically, but glowing. Glowing.
Oh,
She was sort of a human shape, a female shape, but glowing white blue, like this blue white light.
yeah. Okay.
And like moonlight. She just looked like she was made out of moonlight.
Okay.
And so it kind of would be hard to explain, except she looked like she was a glowing figure with glowing blue white. So,
Yeah.
um, so basically, I think she might have been me. I don't know. She never told me her name. However, Diane, my name, is associated with the goddess of the moon.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting. I don't know. So
Okay.
here's Kitty. Oh, Kitty came in. Hi, how you doing, Kitty? So, and Ben is in here asking good questions. He always asks good questions. He's known for that. Hey, Lewis, how
Thank
you
you very much.
doing?
I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate it too. He helped make the show more interesting.
No,
So, because I don't know what to talk about sometimes. I don't know what.
I know what to talk about.
Yeah, you sure do. Anyway, so I had that experience. I told my mom about it, and she said, "Oh, it must be an angel," because that was her belief. And well, I don't know. Might have been an angel too. Who knows?
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
So
I don't know.
are angels and demons like uh real?
Yep. As far as
Okay.
I can tell, they are.
Okay.
I, it is my personal humble opinion that they are. Although I really think that they exist because we exist.
How's that?
Because we are actually, here we go, getting deep. This just like on the tin, it says ocean deep woo, not
Yeah, it says
ocean
deep blue.
shallow woo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting deep. We are the architect. Okay, have you ever saw Matrix? Remember that
Absolutely.
he was kind of a bastard, right?
Yeah.
But we're the architect, and we're also the oracle, and we're
What,
also
you're the
Neo.
architect?
We're the architect, we're the oracle, we're Neo, and we're Neo's main squeeze, okay? We're all of that, and we're also the whole crew. We're also Morpheus and the whole crew, okay?
But
Those
how
are
can
all
humans be the
us,
architect?
okay? Now, the architect is the one that we don't want. We really don't want. We don't want to admit that that's us.
So, okay.
But there's a part of us that is the architect.
I mean,
So,
we definitely design things on Earth, right? But
yes,
the
and we see.
architect, are we a? You're not talking about the architect of like living beings, right?
I think we are.
Really?
That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. I think that really consciousness,
Hmm.
since it is eternal and goes on forever, and by the way, you do go on forever. Um, you always existed in some form, and so did I, is what
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
And if you ask me to prove it, I cannot prove it at this
No, I
point, but
won't. No.
this is how it looks to me. It looks like we're all that way. We all go on forever. We have been here before. We'll be here again. And if we weren't here, we were some other place that. But everywhere is actually here because this is a simulation,
How do you
as far
figure
as I
it's?
can tell.
How do you figure it's a simulation?
It acts like a simulation.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, you
It
could make that, but I mean, give me some concrete proof that this is a simulation.
Okay, people with PhDs came to this decision when Neil deGrasse Tyson had a panel on his show,
Oh,
his other
oh,
show.
okay, you lost
And
me there.
and so I'm not alone, okay, but I will give you an example of how this is like a simulation. This is like a simulation because, okay, I'm going to use something metaphysical. How
Okay.
about this? The secret, right? And the secret was a big thing. Everybody's talking about the secret, how you manifest things, right, in life.
Yep.
You manifest things not by what you want, but by what you are. Or really, what it is, you manifest things just like you do on the net. What do you click? And what happens when you click certain content? Then you get more of that, don't you? Right?
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely.
So, guess what? Life acts like an algorithm. What life brings
Mm.
you along acts a freak of a lot like an algorithm, don't it? If you think about it.
So, Mama D, think about uh how life was before there was, the internet and shit like that. I
I
know you
don't think
remember it because I
I
do.
don't think we had good ways to describe this, and I think that was part of our problem. Is we didn't really have good ways to describe what was going on in the other world. Or
Okay.
yeah, and
What's
I think it has given us a way to describe it.
what's the other world? So,
Or
are you?
and I'm thinking the other world is really the wrong way, but it's the way people think of it.
Yeah.
But really, it's still the same world.
Concurrent timelines?
Um, the way things are, let us say, maybe more correctly, beyond the veil.
All
The
right.
way life is really there is an afterlife, as far as I can tell,
Okay.
because I talked to people that are there that went
Mm.
on before me.
Yeah.
I've been there, and it seems to be a place. And they seem to still do a lot of stuff. They're not just all sitting around on clouds playing harps or anything stupid like that, nor are they.
Yeah.
eh,
Could you
eh,
kind of explain that to me? Like what okay, so you've seen people in the afterlife and you've communicated with them. What exactly what is this realm? Like
You mean the afterlife realm or our realm? And realm is a good word, Ben. It's a very
thank you.
good word. It's a better word, actually, than world, maybe. Realm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Our
So
realm, the realm of the living, it's okay. Are you ready? This is what I remember.
okay.
I remember working at And some of you may remember this too, if you really allow yourself to, that you're really a student at an academy of some sort.
Yeah.
And this is why I think people really relate to the Harry Potter stuff, is because we really are students at an academy.
Okay.
Or maybe we work at the academy. Did you ever think I actually work there? I started to remember that place. That place, I would see it from time to time. I would see that place and I would see the library that I worked in. I worked in the library. I love libraries. And you want to know how you know you're a librarian, how you work there? You love libraries. You love information. You love knowledge. I can always tell what kind of a job they had at the library, too, because the ones who gathered information, they do the same thing here. They'll give you a big printout, anything you're talking about. They'll give you a big printout of what they found, or they'll give you all these links
Yeah, that's
to
true.
what they found. That's what they do at the library too,
Yeah.
okay? But a lot of us actually work at this big library, which is part of the academy. Now, I didn't know that there was even a name for this place, but it's called, I think it might be, the Halls of Amenti. That would make sense. The Halls of Amenti is what Dot talks about in the Emerald Tablets, right?
Hmm.
So I
What
think
tablets?
the Emerald Tablets. Now that's something you're going to have to research because most people know about those, Ben.
Okay,
But
well, I'm
the
good.
Egyptian thought the Atlantean. Okay, Egypt was a basically when Atlantis fell, sank, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
When Atlantis sank, there were refugees. There were some people that got away. And one of the offshoot civilizations was the Egyptian civilization.
Okay.
Though those were the founders of the Egyptian civilization there, the advanced one.
Black people.
Well, they were actually all colors. And if you look at the paintings, you will see that they were all colors. But yes, the hairdos of people in charge, pretty much things like dreadlocks, curls. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there were, but you do also see some people with straighter hair. You do also see some people with lighter skin. So it was a mixed bag, I think, because, and if they were from Atlantis, they were probably a mixed bag, okay? So there was probably a little bit of everything there. It just happened to be predominantly probably black people. Or the,
In Atlantis?
shall I say, yeah, from well, at least from that group. I mean, you don't know. It could have been something like we have here. Could be like, they came from one part of Atlantis and maybe these people in another part of the world came from another part. And
Yeah.
maybe they were just a little bit different.
Hmm.
We don't know. But, it all goes back to what star lineage are they from? And here you go. What star
Okay.
lineage are you from?
Okay.
That's,
I don't
you
know
know,
anything about that at all.
well, apparently, this is another thing that came to me in this life over and over again. My folks are blue. Yep, blue like Krishna, blue like the Hindu gods, blue like the
Okay.
people who had the Vamanas. The Vamanas were, and the reason that the Hindu know this is because they didn't get turned Christian, and they didn't get all of their information destroyed. So they know that there was a very advanced culture of people that were actually blue. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Cool.
other colors as well, and other colors as well. I mean, they really were every color. They also, some of them had friends that were purple, friends that were red, you
So
know.
like, okay. So like, the color of the person doesn't matter, right?
I don't think so. You know what? People put a lot of stock in melanin, and I think melanin was just a way to color the experiment. I
Well,
mean, and
I
now
mean,
this is gonna maybe really piss off some people, but
you
I
might not want
really,
to say it.
yeah, they want we there were some white people, some red people, some yellow people. You're doing a little bit different experiment on each one. How do you keep track? Well, you put a little bit of dye. So some people got melanin,
Who,
and some
who
people.
who is doing these experiments?
Well, I think some of the star species did.
Okay.
I I think
Mhm.
really these are some of the star species who decided that they were going to do some experiments with life,
Yeah.
because we're doing that. I mean, we're doing that
How?
completely. Oh, heck, we've been doing that with bacteria and stuff, and other life forms.
Yeah.
We, all
Right.
this time,
Okay.
I mean, we've been dyeing bacteria in a petri dish for ages.
Yeah.
We've been working on splicing genes and redoing the genomes of creatures for quite some time now.
Yes.
So,
You're all right.
do I think we're repeating exactly the same thing we did before? Yeah, pretty much. I think we do it every time.
What you mean
I,
by did before?
I think we did this all before.
Hmm.
I think we did it all before.
Well, it's not the first time I heard this for sure.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, bacteriophage infection. Let's see, Mr. Mission says bacteriophage infection could have panspermiated from asteroids and naturally done it. Yeah, from somewhere
Absolutely.
else.
Absolutely.
Somewhere else, sure. Some of that could
Panspermia.
happen too.
Yeah.
I don't write out anything.
Yeah. Panspermia is
Hmm.
the accidental seeding of life on a different planet
Yeah,
from some kind of different asteroid or something.
right. Something could have made its way all the way here. Tardigrades can survive deep space, after all. So there is life. We already know of life that can survive deep space.
Yeah.
So, hey, how do we know? We will know. I make a prediction. We will know. We will start to know. And we're going to start to begin to know just the tip of it this year. This year.
Mm.
Hmm. We're going to get just a taste. I don't know how much we're going to get, but I know we're going to get at least a taste of what really happened to us, what really
I,
happened to this world.
yeah, I passed up 3 or 4 jokes just now.
Go right ahead.
No, no, no.
Make all the jokes you want. We laugh here a lot.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with your community right now. You know,
Mhm.
I,
So,
I
Mr.
don't know
Mission
any of
was
these
talking
people.
about CRISPR.
Hmm.
CRISPR is what we use. Yeah, CRISPR is fooling around with the genome, basically,
Oh, okay.
for
Okay.
doing splicing genes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary came in. Hi, Mary. I got to keep track of who's coming in, or they'll get. I don't want anybody to feel neglected and left out. If they come in, I don't. I want to say hi to y'all. You love fried eggs. Well, good. I love fried eggs. We
Oh,
all love fried eggs.
I
Okay.
love it more. I
He
love
loves it
fried
more
eggs
than
more.
y'all.
Yep.
Yeah, we all do. Come on. We now that we're an egg-based economy, did you notice that everybody always counts how the economy's doing by eggs?
It's been a recent thing, but
That
yeah,
word. It's like we got an egg-based economy. Gee, the
yeah,
price
well,
of eggs. It's like everything is based on the price of eggs. It's
yeah.
so funny.
Well,
Um,
they had an avian flu, and Joe Biden killed all the fucking chickens and shit.
yeah, they had to do that because they wanted to make Hunger Games.
Yeah, of course.
That's why they want to darken, they want to scorch the sky, just like in the Matrix. Remember that? Matrix,
Yeah,
they scorched the sky. Guess what? They're talking about doing that over in, oh my God, just as I said that, we've got an ambulance pulling up here. Somebody called an ambulance.
for you.
Not me. Somebody. Oh my God.
Uh,
Just as I said that. I'm seeing the flashing lights. Uh-oh. Somebody's having trouble. Somebody's on their way to the hospital.
yeah, that sucks.
That happens. There's a lot of older people here.
Mm.
Oh, Mr. Mission swatted me. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, mister. I'm gonna spank you too, but Scotty's first in line.
He swatted you, huh?
He swatted me. I'm gonna swat you back.
Mm.
Get on the floor, lady. And Scotty says, "You see a beautiful moon." Why, thank you. Oh, wait, he's not talking about my moon. Never mind. Anyway, I'm kidding. Fixing to die? What? Hook? What? Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, yeah, there could be that going on too. So anyway, what were we talking? Boy, it's making some interesting flashing lights on the curtains there, folks.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see that, but there you go. You get a light show on the curtains. Okay.
Wow, I do see that. You see? Yeah.
Wow. So something's going on. Yeah, Scotty's first for spanking. I've been threatening him a long time. If I ever see him now, I gotta do it. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I'm getting my gloves on first, though, and then I'm going to get a special paddle for him. Anyway, yeah, we've been threatening for a while now. Um. Anyway, you see dead people, Hook? Me too.
You really do?
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I see him sometimes. I don't see him as much though as I just kind of feel him around or hear him.
Mhm.
Sometimes I see him though. Sometimes I see him very well. It
What?
just kind of comes and goes. Huh?
You talking about like ghosts or?
People, you can call them ghosts if you want.
I mean, I don't know what to call them.
There's a lot of different kinds of ghosts. Okay, let's put it that way. There are ghosts. Some ghosts are just they just do the same thing every time, and they're just like a recording. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you.
Well, you saw the ambulance just go by. I just saw the lights go by there by the window. You probably saw them too. Yeah, some ghosts are just like a recording, and they don't really seem to have any other knowledge that you're even there.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
So it's just like reruns and reruns and
yeah,
reruns.
yeah. What they call
Other,
that? What kind of haunting? Um,
uh, I forget, but it's basically just I forget, but it's just
yeah, me
basically
too.
the energy gets stuck and it's like a recording. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
And once
definitely.
again, there's another way that this is like a matrix. Okay.
Mhm.
Why would that happen? If this wasn't some kind of machine, why would that happen?
I have no idea. And that's why I'm
See,
asking you these questions because I have
see,
no idea. I'm trying to find out.
Residual haunting. Yeah, that's it.
Residual. Absolutely, that's what it is.
That's it, Hook. Hook got it.
Yep.
So the other kind that is very prominent is your typical, okay, people will frequently see what is an earth or be bothered by what is an earthbound. An earthbound is somebody who died, and for whatever reason, they did not go on to their destination. Okay.
Oh.
And so this is usually not very happy ghosts. Okay.
Hmm.
They're usually not in a good place. They're usually not happy. They're usually going through not exactly hell, but they're not in a good place. This isn't really a great place. It's kind of a bad place to get stuck if you don't have a body.
Yeah.
Because it
Sure.
isn't built for you. I mean, I've
Yeah.
had to cross over. I've crossed over many spirits that got stuck here, and they've
Yeah.
got different stories of how they got stuck. Um, but as soon as I read about it, and I did read when I was younger, I don't know exactly how young I was, but I was religious because my family was religious.
What
Um, I would
religion
pray
is your
for
mom?
them. I would pray for them, and then when I found out that you could tell them, you could help them cross on, I would pray for them to cross to make their crossing safe. So I always did that.
Yeah. What religion were you brought up in?
Okay, so my dad was, oh, what do they call it? I don't even remember what I was raised as, though. What I
Yeah,
really was
Christian.
raised as, my mother was really into uh, what what do you call it?
So is it like Christianity type
It's a version
stuff?
of Christianity,
Yeah.
evangelical type, but it is
Presbyterian?
charismatic.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
And the leader of the church was Catherine Kuhlman. She had a radio show.
Wow.
So she had a radio show. She was one of the famous ones. Not
Okay.
as famous as Billy Graham, but
Oh, okay. I didn't
uh,
know. Wow.
she was from back in those days. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she had a deep voice. She was a tall woman with a deep voice and very precise diction and so on. She was actually a little scary because I remember when she would come on the radio, she would say, "Hello, I've been waiting for you." And as a
Yeah.
little kid, I remember sitting there going, "Waiting for me? Huh? How did you know I was going to be here? How did you know I was
Yeah.
going to be listening to the radio?" As a kid, I'm there going, "You really knew?" You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that.
and she had one of those voices that was really penetrating. I mean, really. So people would notice when you talk, and she was blessed with that kind of a voice.
Yeah.
And I mean, other people that remember her had to say remember the same thing as kids. They're like, "Whoa, she had kind of a spooky voice." I mean, she could have narrated. She could have been the female version of Vincent Price for narrating scary stuff, right?
Wow.
Because she had that kind of a voice. It was like, very authoritative and sort of deep for a woman, and very good diction, and like you really listened, and she spoke slowly so that you would get every word.
I understand that.
So really, so it was kind of. She wasn't a dude though. No, actually, she wasn't a dude. As far as I know, I don't know though. How do we ever know, right? Anymore?
I mean, but back then they didn't have that.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't as big of a deal as it is now. We didn't see as much of that.
Yeah.
But so she was a miracle worker.
Okay.
Okay, and we actually went to her meetings. She never did build her own church, like some of them. She didn't believe in that. She just rented out like auditoriums and stuff, and had
Wow.
her meetings there because she said she didn't want the money to go to building any big fancy building. She would rather have the money go to people who needed it to do, in
Uh-huh.
her opinion, God's work. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
She said, "What is the point of a big fancy building? We can just rent a building." Like she would rent out the whole Stambaugh Auditorium, which was a great big place. She would
That's
rent out
novel. That's
uh she
different.
would rent out and it was a, you know what, and the Stambaugh Auditorium was a very Tartarian place, come to think of it.
A Tortarian
Looking.
place.
Yeah, it was a very Tartarian looking place. It was one of those very old, ancient looking buildings
Okay.
with the great big stone steps and then the smaller steps next to them.
Hmm.
Very odd. Yeah, come to think of it. Yeah, that place was very what we would probably call Tartarian looking. So I was in this Tartarian looking building listening to this woman who was a miracle worker. You know, most Sundays we would get there. It was a long drive, but my parents were willing to make that drive. And I was in the choir. I was in the children's choir, and I was up on the stage with her. Uh, at Christmas time, every Christmas, the children's choir would be up there on stage. And so I was actually on stage with her on a regular basis every year.
Hmm.
So singing. So it was kind of interesting, right? So
Absolutely.
on stage like when I was a kid. But I, other than that, I was just, you know, but I was
I understand what you mean.
kind of a star singer in music class. I mean, and later on when we started doing musicals and stuff, I was always tapped to do musicals and stuff because I could sing.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but let's see. The other thing, I started reading when I was very young. My mother was supposedly, she said I was backward, which back in the day meant retarded. But
Really?
she taught herself to read,
But your mom was retarded?
supposedly. But I
Okay.
don't really believe that. I think maybe she was just very different.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe she had.
And because she somehow taught herself to read before she went to school
Hmm.
from reading newspapers, comics in the newspapers.
Okay.
And I did too. So I said, "Oh, so you can teach yourself to read." Okay, so I did that too. So by the time I was in kindergarten, I was already reading at a much higher level. I mean, I was in first grade and they were teaching, spelling and stuff, and I'm already whizzed way by all of that, way past all that, and I'm bored as heck,
Yeah.
you know, and way up through all six grades, I was bored. And so I would go to the library, the school library, get reading material that was way above my age. And maybe by the fourth grade, I had my own company. I was making jewelry, wire jewelry. I was reading the teachers' papers that they read. Like, I was reading studies about psychology and science and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was reading that kind of thing while everybody else was still, fun with whoever, the dog and the people and the Jack and Jill or whoever the hell they were. I don't even remember who it was, but it was
Yeah.
so freaking boring. Um, so I was reading that stuff, and so the teachers kind of knew, this kid's a little different. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, this kid's a little different. So I ended up in a gifted child program.
Hmm.
Here's where it gets probably a little weird. I was just listening today about, and I've known this for a while. Oh, yeah, I was in some kind of a program, all right, a gifted child program, the gifted
I've heard of
children.
those. I've definitely heard of those.
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't just a program for education, regular education. They were testing people back then for psychism.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard of
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a gifted child, obviously.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
mhm. So I know damn well that they messed with me because I don't remember most of my childhood. I
Wow.
only remember bits of my childhood, and the bits that I remember are not pleasant. And I
Okay.
was a very nervous kid. I was very nervous. I had almost as much PTSD as my father, okay, who was in
Yeah.
the war in
Yeah.
Panama. So, my dad, by the way, was a sharpshooter and a very intelligent man, and I forget what his IQ was, but it was very high.
Okay.
And he was also psychic, by the way, and
Okay.
he
So,
had prophetic dreams.
okay.
And then they also had people like that on my mom's side too that had prophetic dreams, or my grandfather on my mother's side also had that.
Okay. Well, that
So,
explains it.
but they were also very religious, so they were a little on the superstitious side on both sides, actually.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, so I guess that kind of comes back around to what you were first asking me. When did you first know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly the moment, but somebody did. When I think looking back on it, somebody noticed. And so they tested me, and I think they found something. And I think that probably I was in a program for a long time, but I don't think they ever. I think they keep following you because I know somebody's had been. Now I think it's eased back now, finally, but I think they follow you your whole life
Oh, really?
because they have to clear you. They have to basically erase your memory every 10, 15 years because you start to remember things.
Oh,
So they have to rewipe your memory every 10 to 15 years.
how do you think they do that?
Hypnosis,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
combination of hypnosis and electricity.
Okay. I got you.
Now, from what I'm told, and this was by somebody who was, I think, trying to tell me what happened to my dad and why he had a strange tick in his face. He had like a twitch in his face that would hurt him. And he said, "Oh, that was probably from the paddles." The paddles? Yeah, this guy. I'll have to tell you about this guy sometime,
All right.
but not maybe tonight though. He
Okay.
was
That's cool.
he was a Mason,
That's cool.
22nd degree Mason, and
Okay.
so anyway, he said, yeah, it was probably from the paddles, and he said they put him on either side of his face probably, and just erased his memory.
Wow.
Certain things. He probably was in special forces in the military. I said, yeah, he was a sharpshooter. He said, oh, yeah. He said, yeah, then for sure. That's what happened to him. And that's why he had PTSD.
Yeah.
So, and then they made up a story that on the way home, he was in an accident and the vehicle he was in rolled over and he had amnesia. And when he came back, he was an entirely different person than my mom remembered.
Wow.
So, yeah, they screwed my dad up real good.
Yeah.
Uh, so he had temper
Sorry to hear
fits.
that.
Now, what I saw when I was a kid, when my dad would have these temper fits, was a monster. A monster,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
really. And
it
a
was
monster was
involved.
controlling him, yeah. Even though he was very religious, he went to church on Sunday and he tried all his life, I think, to get rid of this thing.
Yeah,
But
but like if you go and have to kill other people, I think that leaves. I mean, I think it puts something on your back that you cannot get rid of. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So, I couldn't imagine having to go kill other people.
yeah.
I
That
can't
was
imagine that shit.
exactly what he had to do
I know.
as a sharpshooter. They
Yeah.
damage you so that your mind is damaged enough that you can kill somebody because it's not normal
Well, they fucking
to
break you
do that.
down
Yeah.
into they 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 destroy your ego, right? So
Yes.
you are just a piece of a machine, right? And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then they send you out there to do what they fucking want you to fucking do.
So basically, we've got. Oh, you broke the paddle too? Me too. Hook. I broke that sucker. Yeah. Oh, that's another story. Um, yeah. So, yeah, if you're abused, then they do kind of take advantage of that. I mean, so basically, it's like,
Yeah,
did I have a normal childhood? I don't know. Did anybody? Did any of us?
I did.
What do you call normal?
I did. I had a great childhood.
You actually enjoyed your childhood. Well, you must have had a good childhood
I really did.
because you
I really
enjoyed it
did.
because I sure didn't. I never want to go through it again.
Man,
That scares the crap out of me being a child again. Are you kidding me? I don't want to be that helpless ever again.
no, I had a great childhood. Really,
Good for
I
you.
I had a dad that he provided. A
Mhm.
mom that loved us. A mom would cook for us, and man, she didn't cook any regular food. She cooked Cajun food. Man,
Ooh,
I'm telling you,
some very good stuff, man.
I had a great childhood.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, my grandma was actually a cook in a five-star restaurant.
Wow,
Head cook, in fact, during the Depression. Very
wow.
unusual for a woman to have that high of a position, really, during
Yeah,
that
you're
time.
right. You are right about that.
And she was a head cook at the only five-star restaurant in the area called White House. It was a chicken place. Um, she met all of she met every celebrity that came through Ohio, basically.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Every ever came through. So, yeah, she loved that part of the job. And they
Yeah.
would always compliment her because she was a good cook. And she's the one that taught me how to use iron pans. Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah.
I know how to do the iron thing because she told me.
That's good.
So, but my dad was a mason, of course. Of course he
Yeah,
was.
you said that. You said it's a 22nd degree, right?
No, my dad was not quite that high. I think he was, I cannot remember. But the guy that talked to me about my dad, what happened to my dad, he was a 22nd.
Oh, okay.
And the way I knew that was by the handshake he gave me. How did I know? I don't know. I don't know where I got the info from. I just knew it was a special handshake, and I'm there going, wait, what? And I know I looked surprised, and I looked at him like, that means, and he nodded, yes, yeah. And I'm like,
I'm not following.
he's a Mason. He's a high level Mason. Oh man. So yeah, and the talk we had was quite a talk. And the earrings, and I think part of it was the earrings I was wearing. I was wearing earrings that I had designed. I designed silver for a while for quantum jewelry. I designed these earrings that were a triangle with an eye in them.
Oh,
Go figure,
okay.
right? And
Yeah.
I was wearing those. And I'm like, when I think back on how subliminal it was subliminal. I wasn't really thinking, I just thought it was cool looking. And we see it on the dollar bill, and I wasn't really aware of all that stuff too much then when I
Yeah.
designed that. But he looked at the earrings and he's like, yeah, she knows something. There's something about, yeah, he could probably just look at me and tell. You
Yeah.
know, he could
Probably.
probably just like, yeah, he had some kind of awareness. So anyway, um, so I just I don't know. I have never had a normal life. My childhood was scary as hell. I had terrible dreams. And now I realize that they may have even been dreams of being on another planet. I may even not have been even on Earth. They may not have been dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So, because if any of these stories are true, they would use children for things. And
But you
that would just tend to make sense then, because, I mean, why do we all remember giant spiders?
I don't.
You know? Yeah, you don't, but people like me sure do.
So what? In regards to like, you think you have like your family has had alien abductions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
You think everybody does?
No, family lines. It goes through family lines. We already know that one.
Yes,
A
we
lot
do.
of people did research on that,
Yes,
and
we
it goes
do.
through family lines.
Yes, we do.
And so that is also why I'm thinking that's why I kind of lean towards the experiment theory of why we look different, why we, you know.
It's
I
different from
think,
what?
yeah, these star races, they do their experiments and they put little indicators. Now I think they've gotten more subtle with their indicators
I
as to
mean,
who's in what experiment.
what
But
what uh what you mean by different? Why we look different?
why some people have more melanin than others, why some people have more,
Oh yeah, I
different
got you. I
facial
got you.
features,
I'm following. I got you.
yeah, is because really the genetics that we're mixed up with, the
Yeah,
white people are probably got a lot of tall white genes in them. Tall, tall whites are one of the known races,
yeah,
one of the known species, star species.
yeah. I understand that.
So, probably white people got more of the tall white and mixed in with them. Other people probably have some other species mixed in with. I mean, we don't even know all of them really that have been here. I know that the blue guys still are around though because I see them all the time.
Really?
And this is the thing that happens to me. This is so wild. And it still kind of blows my mind. And still, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're all survivors. We're here right now because we're survivors. We survived all that. We have to be, you know what? You pat yourself on the back. You are tough, okay, because you made it this far. Oh, yeah, Hook saw my body lying on the ground, she says. Yeah, some of us had these
Wow.
experiences, these really bizarre experiences. All of our lives couldn't tell anybody about them.
Would she like to talk or?
You want to come up here and tell us about anything, Hook? Hmm.
I mean, I understand if
Yeah,
she doesn't.
a lot of us are survivors, and we made it through. I lived all of the times that I could have died. I had so many near death experiences. I haven't even mentioned half of them on the show. Times that I could have died and I didn't.
Mm.
Or I did, but I returned. I resuscitated. That's always fun, right? You're almost dead, or you're dead, but not for you come back. Anyway, I
Oh,
used to make a joke that I'm the living dead girl because I didn't stay dead, right?
yeah,
Um,
sure. But I mean,
yeah, I died in an accident, but I didn't stay dead. My heart started back up again, and
damn,
yeah, so
man,
yeah. And I look at the people in here, yeah. We're all survivors, ain't we, guys? Yeah, most of us are.
yeah.
We had some kind of shit that we had to plow through, right, and live to make it this long.
I tell
So
you what,
yeah,
I'm a survivor.
yeah.
You
Oh,
remember
you're a
that time you?
survivor. Your grandma trying to get control of you.
Yeah, I know. You remember that
Well,
time you helped me get something off of me?
yeah, I sure do. I'm glad that we could do that because look where you are now. You're on a
Yeah,
show. You're a lot. You seem like you're really have come a ways since then
yeah.
in your learning and your knowing of stuff.
I'm knowing of stuff, but I don't know anything about like what you really deal with right now, like
Hmm.
like cards and stuff like that. I don't know anything about that. I'm not
Well,
really willing to learn anything about that because I'm just stubborn, and I had the my Ouija board experience. I'm just kind of scared of that shit.
you know what? You're probably better off
Yeah, yeah, I think I am.
if you don't really want to know anything about. You're probably just better off, Ben, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's your path. I ain't gonna try and convince anybody to take my path. My path was not easy.
Oh
A
no.
shamanic path is hard, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
I don't want
hard,
anything
it's
to do with that,
scary.
bro.
Yeah, it's difficult, it's scary. I know it's what I came here to do, but I do not recommend it to just decide. I don't think you even do. I think that's what you're going to be before you even come in.
Yeah, that Ouija board shit scared the shit out of me, and I'm not even willing to pay it any attention anymore.
Yeah. No, that's good. Because
Yeah,
really, yeah, just leave it to people who do that kind of work.
I
It's safer
definitely
that
will.
way. Yeah.
And
I
that's why I
mean,
talk to
I
you.
can do that and not get hurt. I can do that and not be afraid. I can do that and I know I am more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
But
yeah.
when I did when I didn't even I wasn't even the main participant, but we were shit 17 to 20. We
Hmm.
didn't know what the fuck. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, how much
Like,
do you know at that time? You think you
yeah,
know a lot, but you don't know nothing.
yeah, you're right about that.
You think you know a lot, and then you find out you don't know anything.
Yeah, you think you know
Well,
everything. Yeah, you're right.
oh my gosh, that's so true. So, it's like, but see, me, I think I knew a lot. It was already predestined. I mean, um, I think, and I used to joke around, the shaman life chose me, kind of like the thug life chose me.
Yeah, yeah,
But the shaman life chose me. It always feels like that. But no, you chose it before you came in.
yeah. So, Mama D, I'm about to go in a minute, but
Yeah,
can you feel? I mean, you remember that time you took that attachment off me?
yeah.
Do you feel that I have any attachments on me right now?
Let me take a look.
All right.
Yeah, let's see. You got something down by your leg. You want me to cut that? It's just a cord.
Yeah.
It's your right leg. Okay. You can actually cut it yourself, but
I don't want to fuck with that.
okay, you don't want to fuck with it. Okay, that's okay. Okay, let me take care of that. Hey, Saint Michael, we got a cord here. Let's make sure I didn't get my back up here just to make sure in case this goes to anywhere important. Is this anything important, guys? Oh, ooh, isn't that interesting? There is that isn't just your right leg. It's almost like a lariat around your ankles. What the heck?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this has anything to do with that, but I just found out uh, in a painful way that
Yeah.
I have spinal degeneration
Ah,
in my neck, which sucks.
okay. Yeah, it does.
So I've been doing
I
procedures.
had that too, by the way.
Wow, that sucks.
Lower back, yeah.
And mine's in my neck, so
Mhm.
it fucking sucks.
I don't know if that's connected, but it could be. I'll get rid of this thing for you.
Thank you very much.
Um, yeah, I'll get rid of that if it's get riddable.
Around.
You may
Mm.
have to do something though to keep this from coming back.
What is it? I mean, what exactly are we talking about?
It's it looks to be an attempt to keep you from. It looks almost like somebody wanted to keep you from getting what it's like the sort of thing you do to tether something either in one place or to you, like you ain't getting away. That kind of feeling, like no, you ain't getting away. You ain't gonna go. You ain't gonna go away. So maybe somebody's afraid you leave.
I don't see anybody that would be.
I don't know what this is. I don't know why this is here. I'll get rid of it. Maybe this is just that's why I'm asking. Is this something I need to get rid of? Is this something I should be getting rid of? Because or is this something else? Because my guides know more than I do. And see, that's one of the things I always do is I depend on
Yeah,
my on my guides to help me figure these things out.
yeah.
Okay. We'll get rid of it if you feel better, then you know that that was it, okay? If you don't, then it might have been something else, but we'll see what it does, okay?
What could it possibly be?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that it's not normal to see that. Hang
Hmm.
on. Okay, you sure now I have permission to do this? Okay. Okay. Now, Okay, we've got the connection gone. Now I'm going to get it off you. We're going to just take it off. Okay. Now this is second time. Now don't you get yourself in trouble again. But
Damn.
I'm kidding. You things we just step in things we don't even know what we're stepping in. Sometimes it's even just stuff that people left out and they didn't even know what they were doing. I mean, this uh, it's almost like a snare trap. But
Really?
yeah, like somebody was like when you're hunting and you got
Yeah.
like a snare trap. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it kind of looked like. But I got rid of it now.
Golly. I appreciate it.
I don't know why that was there. But anyway, yeah, that
Oh,
was it.
I gotta, okay.
Now let me look up in your neck and see if there's anything that's going on that's wrong in your neck. Okay, what you need to no, I don't see anything attached to your neck
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, I think you're okay. I mean, I don't think it's a.
Not
I just,
physically okay, but,
yeah, I don't think spiritually you got a thing there, but
okay.
it could be a residual from something that was there at one time.
Well, it's just degeneration, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know. You get older and,
Yeah, well, your
it
spine and you
happens.
put pressure on your spine in different places and
Absolutely.
it
Yep.
rubs together and it does stuff to you. Yeah, I got it in the lower back supposedly, and it's
Oh, man, that sucks.
part of what is wrong with me and why I walk with a walker. So, that's part of the reason why I have to sit on a walker, on a rollator.
Yeah.
Uh, I can go for a while and then I have to sit down on a rollator because of pain in my back. But
Yeah.
it's better than it was. But anyway, so I had that most of my life. Um, I'm actually better now than I was though a few years back.
And that's good. I
Yeah, so
never
I'm a
hear that.
little bit better now, right now. But still, I'm kind of stuck with going out with the rollator. But anyway, yeah, we have these. I mean, nothing can really explain what it's like to be someone like me, unless you're someone like me. I mean, a lot of the other people in my chat here, they know because they've been there.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't. So I was just asking you to clarify for myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting. I'm interested in things that I don't know about, you know.
Mm-hmm. I
And
noticed that.
I thank you very much for entertaining my questions.
Well, they're good questions, Ben, and we can always use that. So, I was thinking, yeah, I'll be telling some stories about my life, whatever people would be interested in, but honestly, I'm not sure what people would be interested in.
Yeah.
Which parts they would find the most interesting. But I guess you kind of helped with that.
Did you have any kind of epiphany of okay, I really can, I what's going on? I can really like see, what's going on. I really have a gift.
Well, there were a lot of small ones along the way.
So it's
But
incremental, right?
but well, the big one that I had to admit I was a medium because I didn't want to admit I was a medium. I didn't want to think of myself as a medium because some people think of that as necromancy, which is evil. And, some churches around here see that as an evil thing,
I mean, yeah.
necromancy. But it is being a medium. And being a medium is you see and speak with the dead. And not everybody's down with that, right?
Hmm.
So I didn't want to think of myself that way. But then okay, I'll tell this story again. I've told it before, though. I don't know. Maybe some people here haven't heard it. Um, I knew this girl from town. She was an atheist, and I didn't know she was an atheist at the time. She was just somebody I knew, and she knew me because I played music, and that's how we knew each other. As she listened and I played music, and so so they used to have margarita night, margarita and wings down at the wing place, and I'd go in there and I'd get me a margarita and some wings, and it would be a rocking place. The music would be loud. There'd be a lot of people, and I'd be, getting ready to go to the dollar movie. That was another thing I did. I'd have my dinner there, and then I'd go to the dollar movie, and that was a good night, and on a Wednesday, and she comes in and she's walking over to see me. I'm sitting at the bar having dinner, and uh, she she has this guy that is trying to get her attention, and she won't pay any attention to him. And he is like trying to whisper in her ear. He's trying to tap her on the shoulder, and she's just acting like he isn't even there. And she says, "Hey, Ocean, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" I said, and this guy looks right at me, young guy. She was a young woman. He looks right at me. He says, "I don't know what's wrong. She won't even pay any attention to me. She acts like I'm not even here."
Really?
And yeah, that's what he said to me. And I could hear him plain as day, right? Over the music. And they were right next to me, like right there in my face, right? Well,
Yeah.
he just looked like a regular guy. He didn't look like he wasn't see through or transparent or anything. And I said, okay. Well, I said to her, I said, why won't you talk to this nice young man here? He seems like a
Oh,
nice
wow.
guy. Why don't you talk to him? And she looks at me like, what guy? And I
Ah,
said, this
gotcha.
guy right here next to you. And she goes kind of pale. And then I look again and he's gone. He's gone into the crowd. I thought, well, he just gave up and went off into the crowd or something.
But it
And
wasn't there.
she said, what does he look like? And I said, I described him, and she got real quiet for a minute. She said, that's impossible. I said, why? He must be around here somewhere. She goes, and then I could hear him. It was like I could hear him thinking. I didn't see him, but I could hear him. And she said, because he's dead,
Mm.
he died. How could you know that? How did you know that? Did somebody tell you? I said, I don't know that much about you. You're somebody that I just know from the street.
Yeah.
And she says, but that sounds exactly like my friend who died. That is so weird, and this is bad. I'm an atheist. That's impossible. This can't be happening. And I said, he says he's been leaving you gifts. And they're small and sort of brown, and they look like a brain. And I'm like, I don't know what they were. She goes, walnuts. I said, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Wow.
And she says, "Oh yeah, I've been finding walnuts all over the place. He used to leave me walnuts to let me know he was there." to let me know he'd been there. He'd leave a walnut behind, and that's how I knew it was exactly him and not somebody else. And I've been finding walnuts all over the place, and I thought I cleaned them all out, but no, I keep finding them. I said, because he keeps leaving them for you. She goes, that's impossible. That is impossible. And I said, okay, fine. But he says he's going to leave you something. He's going to leave you a gift that is going to be unmistakable. Okay. And she says, yeah, right. That's really going to happen. She says, nah, this isn't happening. She says, no, this is crazy. I can't believe it. She was going to go drink her drink and eat her chicken. I'm there. Okay, well, it don't matter to me none. So I see her in a few days next week at the next Wednesday, margarita night. And she comes up and she says, okay, I don't like this, but I want to be honest. After I talked to you when I got home, I found a sugary nug the size of a walnut sitting in the middle of my table, my kitchen table. And I know I had cleaned it off. And I know I had locked the door. And I know nobody'd been in there. And that is exactly the kind of thing he'd leave me.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, that was an apport. That was a gift from him. She said, but it cannot possibly be, because she was still wrestling with her paradigm. But so that kind of level, and she was still, of the opinion that it could not possibly be, even though it absolutely was.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be anything else. So it's like, well, what are you going to say? You know? What are you going to say
Yeah,
to
you're right.
people like that? What can you tell them? I mean, I told her who it was. The guy was happy, I guess. And I think the reason he disappeared is maybe he didn't realize he was dead.
Hmm. Wow.
I don't know. Maybe he
Huh.
didn't. So, uh, you know, after after that, she kind of was careful about talking to me. Then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, well, it's not my fault,
That's crazy.
but anyway, I don't know what else happened with that, but I hope that he crossed over. I think he probably did cross over all right after that. He probably just didn't know. He might not have known he was dead. So happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Hmm.
Um that's and then after that I said to myself, you know what, girl? You're a medium. What's it gonna take to convince you that you're a medium? It's that's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was convincing myself too. Because
Yeah.
I was kind of trying to deny, nah, well, maybe I was. You kind of put it on hold because it's not convenient. And you think, well, I might just have been imagining that. But I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't. I mean, inwardly I knew, but I couldn't talk about it really. So,
Yeah. I understand that.
yeah. So that's when I really had to say, okay, I'm a medium. Might as well just accept the fact that I'm a medium. I see dead people. I talk to people. Dead people, these things are real. These things I do are real. These things I do on other levels are real. These people talking to me are real. I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not crazy. I am a medium. That's what I am. Okay. Well, now that we can put that aside and just deal with the fact that I'm a medium. It explains a lot, right? So, okay. Although I didn't exactly want to hang out my shingle because I didn't know how I felt about that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
So, it took me a little bit to really accept it, I think. I didn't want to accept that. But there it was. I couldn't deny it. And she couldn't deny it, but she was anyway. It's funny how we can do that, right? It's undeniable, but we're going to deny it anyway. Humans
Yeah.
are so funny. Humans are hilarious. Will y'all, if you
Yeah.
got a minute, will you please if you're liking the stories, will you please like the video to help the channel? Thank you. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you can, and come on in chat. The chat is friendly in here. So you say you're taking off pretty soon. Well, I understand. It's been loads of fun. You just come and go as you feel like you want to. You're always welcome here.
Do what? Who?
I said you're always welcome here.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm getting tired. You know,
Yeah, I can kind of hear it.
I know you can. I know you're very intuitive. So, thank you very much for having me. Thank you
Sure.
for entertaining my questions. And
Sure. Come back and ask some more another time.
yes, ma'am. All right, Mama D.
Okay, take care, Ben.
All right, bye.
Bye. Ben is always such a cool guest. I just love Ben. Anybody else want to come up on the stage for a while? I didn't see anybody else clicking that link. I'll put out the link again just in case. In case somebody else wants to come up and talk. You're 4'2", Scotty. Well, the way you talk, maybe we should have called you tripod. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Ben always asks good questions. He really does. So, hey Lee, what's up? I didn't see you sneak in here. I'm pretty sure it is, honey, and I have argued that with people. I'm pretty sure that is, yeah, that the magic is hereditary. It does seem to go through family lines, and I'm pretty sure that that's my story too. But you didn't want to say you're a witch because that could be big trouble. I mean, there are churches that would gladly still burn people at the stake if they could get by with it. And they think they would be doing God's work. So, yeah, Ben is really good at bringing those things out. Yeah, I'm sure it's hereditary. But see, there was this woman I remember online running into this woman who'd written a book about be a witch and how people can become a witch and how they can develop their witch abilities and stuff. I said, but I had a discussion with her, and I'm like, yeah, but there's some people that it just comes natural. Nobody teaches us. We just got it like that. And I think it's hereditary. She goes, oh, so you think there's some kind of witch gene? And I said, I never said that. There could be some other mechanism by which it's passed down in a family. It could be a spiritual mechanism rather than a physical one. How do we know? But I do know that it seems to run in families from what I can see. Well, this pissed her off. Okay. This pissed her off. Because, of course, she didn't want it to be that way because she was making some money on this book, right? So, selling this book. But I don't see why both can't be true. I don't see why it can't be that. I mean, look at it this way. And this was an argument I made to her. I said, look, honey, there's got to be, this could have been something that you've done life after life, you know? And she goes, I don't know if I believe in reincarnation and all that stuff. And I'm there, wow, you're a witch and you don't believe in reincarnation. That's very interesting. But I said, okay, well, but how do you explain somebody is born and they walk up to a piano as soon as they're old enough and they play a concerto? It happens. How do you explain that kind of thing? There are countries where they accept the idea of uh, multiple lives, right? And in those countries, the children remember their past lives. Okay. As a matter of fact, even in some of the countries where they don't really accept that, children have remembered their past lives, taking their parents to their house, their old house, to see their old family, knew the members of the family names. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but it certainly exists. These stories exist. Okay, and they always have existed. So in the old world, it was sure accepted that we have multiple lives. It's not just one. Okay. And then we die, and then that's it. So, and of course, we had various people who did work. Elizabeth Montgomery, Dolores Cannon, and others who did work to understand our lives, our different lives, and what happens really at the end of a life and in between lives. So, uh, you know, we're not completely unknowledgeable, although we have to pretend we are because science types can be putzes and they think they have to know everything and they think they have to be the authority. That's going to change, by the way, I predict. I mean, I really believe that is going to change. So, on my mom's side, my people came from my grandma. Uh, her mother was a Cherokee Indian midwife who went by Emma Whitehorse, riding her white horse. Ridner was the name of the man she married. Um, her sister's name was Chinois. My mother remembers braiding the women's hair, long hair that trailed along the floor. Had to brush it out and braid it every night and wrap it up around their ears and make the buns so that they didn't trip over it when they walk, I guess, right? Got to do something with all that hair. So, anyway, so my mom on the one side had that, and then also she talked about her grandfather saw visions. um, saw visions and would draw. He was an artist. My mom's side of the family was musicians and artists and people, craft people. Okay. A lot of that kind of thing. My dad's side was more skilled people. Great grandma was um, the royal hairdresser to the queen in Denmark, and um, great grandfather was royal watchmaker. So we got another guest coming up, and it's Hook. Hey, Hook.
Hi.
How you doing?
Sorry, I'm doing
Yarn,
makeup on my
yarn,
blanket.
pirate.
I'm ugly, but here I
You are
am.
not
I don't
ugly.
care. I don't care. I'm just old.
Don't make me slap you, girl. You ain't ugly.
Old. I wanted to show you my blanket. Can you see it?
Yeah, I want to see it.
You see it?
Ooh,
Blanket.
ooh.
Blanket.
I don't see it yet. There,
There.
now we see it. It's brown and
Okay.
black and white. Yes,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It's.
Afghan.
I haven't blocked it yet. There.
Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
haven't
What
blocked it.
pattern is that?
It's a kaleidoscope. Virus meets granny.
Ooh, that sounds very special.
It's
Yeah.
like a square and a diamond and a square and a diamond with a circle in the middle. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. I
Let
like
me
it.
turn off my other. It's echoing. Okay, let me turn it down.
Ah, that
All
is
right.
pretty cool,
Okay,
actually.
so that's it. You don't want to see my ugly mug. So okay.
I don't, we don't think you're
I know.
ugly,
Look at all
though.
that yarn. Look at my freaking yarn, girl. I got a I
What
got a
about
yarn.
your yarn? It
I
ain't
got
ugly
so
either.
much. Look at it. It's to the ceiling. Do you see it stacked? I got a yarn problem. I still want to go
She
back to
got a
Japan,
yarn, Jones, man. She's
but
got a
but
yarn.
it's
It's like,
50% off, and it's going to 80% in a couple of days.
man,
Oh
it's
shit!
50% off. Come on, man. Got any
Oh,
yarn?
pounds of love
Yarn.
were fucking $5.
Um,
They were $5 deep. Pounds of love. Do you know how
$5.
many yards are in a pound of love?
No, but that's
Eleven
a
hundred
lot.
yards. Guess how
$5
many I bought?
a pound? God,
Yeah,
I should have been there. Jeez,
five
well, why
dollars a
wasn't I
pound.
there?
I was fucking there with bells on. Are you kidding me? He bought me a
I
hundred
would be
dollars worth of
there.
pounds of love. I got black, I got beige, I got purple, and I got blue, and I had to have two of each.
Cool. Yarn, surrender your yarn or walk the
Then I
plank.
saw this cotton. Oh my god, you should see this cotton.
Oh,
It's so
goodness.
beautiful. Okay, I'll show you the cotton. I just love
Get
his
my
color.
throat all cleared
Look,
out.
look. Okay, wait. There. Do you see the color?
Not
I
yet.
know. Okay. Where's my here?
You're
Hold
all
on
over. Your
there.
camera's all over the place,
Where
honey.
am I? Okay, my finger's over there. So I'm trying to find the camera. It's
All I see is your fingers.
okay.
Oh, there. Now we can see it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, now we're seeing the ceiling
okay. Well,
and
never mind. I
part
can't
of a
control
hutch.
what can't. Okay, there. That's the one. Okay,
Okay, put the
this
camera
one.
down a little bit so we can
There.
see it. Nope, we can't see it. We didn't see it. You got
Okay.
to put it back down again.
Okay. There. Huh? You see it?
There, hold the yarn up. There we go. Now we can see it. Okay, fine.
It's got a blue and
Yeah, blue and
green
white. It's
and
variegated.
white.
Then the one under there is a little different.
Yeah, they're all the same color, but I wanted to make another bathing suit cover up, because it's
Hmm. How
cotton.
many bathing suits do you have, girl?
I got four granddaughters, right? And I got
Oh,
a
okay.
daughter, and then I got two sisters, and you know what I mean. And that's only on my side. My husband has eight in his family. He's the sixth one out of eight. Yes,
Yeah.
quite a lot of family. I'm sorry, it's just hard time looking at my ugly mug. Would I look better with my hair down?
Quit saying that
Oh,
about yourself.
I know I have a.
You
You see,
keep
I have a dent.
insulting my friend. Hook.
see that?
And I'm going to have to beat you up for insulting Hook, my friend.
But look, do you see that?
I'm just
That's
kidding
from
you.
my ZI Rock Camaro. Yes, I smashed it. Yeah. Okay.
So
My
doesn't
Camaro.
do anything. That doesn't change anything. Okay.
Yeah, it's better. Okay.
Hook, you're a beautiful woman now.
I
Quit
look like my
giving
mother.
yourself.
I look
Yeah.
just like her. So every time I see me, I see Wanda. You know, Wanda's my mom's name.
Hook,
Actually,
it
Elaine, but she doesn't like Elaine, so she goes by her middle name, Wanda.
Elaine Wanda?
No, her first name is
Wanda
Elaine.
Elaine.
Yeah, and her middle name is Wanda. She was named after her mother because she
Does
looked
she go Wanda?
just like her mother. She looks just
She's
like
a
her.
Wanda-er.
Yeah, really, she's Wonder Woman. That's what they used to call her.
Wanda woman, okay.
My dad called her Wanda.
Oh, Ken Rotman's in here. Rotman, there's a link up there somewhere if you want to come in and talk.
Oh, thank you, Scotty boy. I got a huge lump on my
Yeah, Hook,
forehead.
Scotty thinks you're beautiful, so there you go.
Lois, you are no. I look better when I put makeup. Hide all the.
Everybody does, but
lip
then we
line.
also look just great the way we are. I don't
But
care.
I did color my hair. Do you like it? It's burgundy. Woohoo! I don't look so old. I got
Woohoo.
it. It was all white yesterday, but for Mother's Day, my hubby, he colored my hair.
Oh, well,
He,
that's
he
nice.
does my hair. I'm lazy. He does it better than I do.
Yeah, it's hard to color your own hair. I've tried.
Yeah. I cut
Not
his
so
part,
easy.
and he colors mine. Yeah.
That's nice.
How
That's a
was your
nice
Mother's
trade.
Day? Did you do anything for Mother's Day?
No, I relaxed mostly. I thought about my mom a bit.
That's good. That's
She
always
kind
good.
of came in and said hi, and I don't know whether or not to say that, but I guess you guys can handle it. Yeah, my mom came through and said hi, and we had a talk.
I tried to get with my mom, but
She's gone.
it didn't work out. Yeah, I think my mom's going to be gone by next year. I have a feeling she's going to
And
go.
my mom's been gone
She's
for
gone. Oh, when did she
decades
leave?
now.
Oh, decades? Oh,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah, she passed over 20 years ago now.
Oh,
So
he might be in the next, you know.
might be into her next life, you think?
Yeah, and her next,
Oh,
wherever,
she didn't
wherever
say
she wanted
anything
to
about
go.
it, but it's not impossible.
You never know.
I think my mom was very jealous of me. I'm pretty sure she was. And your mom probably was jealous of you too.
But you know what happened? My
It
daughter
happens.
up. I was shocked. She actually invited me to her ex's husband's house, and we had dinner, and Ikaika came over, and I got to see all my kids. It was an amazing day. I never planned it, but I was just thanking God for what a wonderful miracle it was,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and actually it was a nice day out. And
it was
this
beautiful.
was a full moon, by the way.
I know. I felt that
Supposedly a very
Scorpio.
powerful full moon.
It's a Scorpio full moon.
Scorpio full moon. And
Yes. And tonight is something. It's a portal is supposed to be opening up, right?
yeah.
And if you get your frequency in the right place, you'll be going to a new place. Yeah, we're all, possibilities are there. But if
Hmm.
you hesitate and you still doubt yourself and you're still living in the past, you're not going to make it. And you're going to have to deal with it all over again. You know what I mean? It's like a cycle. You got to
Hmm.
get on the bus while the bus is about to come. You got to get ready to get on it, because if you're not ready to get on the bus, you're going to miss the bus.
Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
Is that
I think that's why I came on to say that. I didn't want to, because how can you type that with your little finger in the chat room?
yeah, I know. It's
How can
really
you
hard
say it?
sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta
To
read the chat now
be
because
in the chat room and try and
yeah.
explain what you're
Hi
trying
there,
to say when
Stan.
it's kind of complicated. Yeah.
Oh, F Kitty. Oh, and Scotty. Oh my God, I sound like my mother too. Oh, okay. All right. It's just hard. You know, D, I have a hard time with my mom. And
I
then my
did too.
son, guess what my son told me yesterday? Straight up, just had to tell me. He shook me, right? He grabbed my shoulders and he said, Mom, you have abandonment issues.
You do.
I'm like, what? He goes, yes, Mom. And I'm afraid that my daughter is going to be going through, because see, his ex is doing the same thing to his daughter that my mom's doing to me, right? Yeah. It's a cycle. It sucks.
Uh,
It sucks.
so don't let her feel that she's
Yeah, I
being
told her
abandoned.
that too. I said, no, she's not, because grandma never abandoned her. I was there for her since she
Right.
was newborn. She was actually closer to me than her own mom. It wasn't my, she knew me as a baby. She didn't want her mom. She wanted
Hmm.
me and Leroy. She didn't want her mom.
Well,
Felt guilty.
there may have been a reason.
She knew us. She knew us. It was weird. It was just like my son when he was born. He he knew us too. Like, he was very aware.
Oh my God,
Very
Kitty. Are you
aware.
kidding me?
Oh, what, Kitty?
Kitty says last time my family got together, she looked over at me from the other end of the tables at the restaurant and said,
Uh-huh.
God, you're ugly today. Shit
Yeah.
parents happen. You know what, Kitty? That is absolutely
Last time my
disgusting.
family got to
What?
look over at me and the other end of
What
the table.
the hell
You're
kind of
so
thing is
ugly
that
today.
to say?
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
But don't feel bad, Kitty. My grandma, my aunt, they were all in the same restaurant as us and pretended they didn't know me. That happened twice. My own grandma, that's the last memory of her being alive, is walking away from me acting like she didn't know me. I cried. She broke my heart. And then when she died, they didn't even invite me to the funeral.
Damn.
I wasn't invited. I was told not to come. I mean, it's bad
Oh,
enough you're not invited, but
God.
to be told. And my mother, too. They told my mom the same thing. Okay, and I can't help it. I
That's
cursed God
horrible.
after that. I'm sorry, but I told God to get him, you know?
Hmm.
Because you don't get him back, right? You give it to God. And I said, God, go get him. Yeah, my aunt died soon after
Oh,
too. I kind of regret doing that because I feel like I kind of helped that happen, you know?
yeah.
Well,
Well, don't feel bad. I mean, just forgive yourself, everybody else,
no, I can still
and
feel it
have a
today. I
life
felt
that
it
is,
again.
have a life that
You know
your
what,
best thing
Dee?
is to have a life
She's
that
been
they didn't
visiting
want
me.
you to have.
She's been visiting me because she died. And
Hmm.
I'm her unfinished business, right? Yeah. Because
Uh,
she told me to kill all my kids. And I told her off. I did. I told
what?
her off. Right in the middle of Pearl Ridge, too. She was trying to give me money. I said, I never wanted your money, Auntie. I only wanted you to accept me and my children. Ugh.
She
So, yeah,
told you to
she's
kill
rotting
off
in
your
hell right
kids.
now for the shit she did to me.
She must be in a very bad place right
And
now.
so my grandma, too. How dare she do that to me? Ugh. It's hard, though, because I loved her. And like I said, I have abandonment issues because they fucked me all up. Everybody's fucked up, though, right? Yeah. And misery loves company. I'm sorry. And the empty can rattles the most. I'm going to stop rattling, okay? All right. I'm sorry.
You can tell us.
No, but
It's
it's true. The empty can rattles the most, and I don't like to hear myself complain, right? Bitch
mm,
and moaning does not, it helps for a while, but no, you have to grow step up or step out, right? Yeah. And I keep pondering the past, but you know what? Tonight is that full moon, like I said. And my
mhm.
goal tonight is to reach that place where I'm not looking in that rearview mirror anymore, and that I can accept the past and move on. I can heal from it, even though how fucked up it was. I don't care anymore. A lot of people had worse
You
lives,
know what? I don't
way
care.
worse than me.
I
Right?
went through that though. But you
Yeah.
know what? If you ever have times when you get like that, just ride it through, feel it through, and let it go past.
Yeah.
Because we are getting rid of that stuff. We're
We need to
dumping
get
all
rid
this
of
stuff.
it. Yeah. Like,
If
let
it comes
it go.
up, it's coming up to be felt and released.
Yeah, Scotty, we are
And
coming.
that's the only reason it's coming up, okay? So I
Floating out
just had some
the
stuff that
candle.
I thought I had done already, but it was
Me too.
another
Yes,
layer.
too.
Was just another layer. We
Oh,
got layers that we go through of stuff. So,
oh my God, Ken, you were a Jehovah's Witness. I was a Mormon. They
oh my
excommunicated
goodness.
me for keeping my baby. Does that make any sense to you guys? They wanted me to sell my baby, then I could be a Mormon. Really?
What?
You want me to sell my
What
kid
the
so I can
hell?
be a Mormon and go to church? Go fuck yourselves. Excuse me.
And then poor Ken, he had to put up with Jehovah's
Oh
Witnesses.
my God. Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. Another
Are you
cult?
kidding me? And you know what? When they baptized me, it was so funny. I got pounded by a wave. It
Oh
was at
dear.
Coachella. Scotty Boy was right by Poundas. I'm
Is
so
that
funny.
my baby cat?
I don't think we're
My
supposed to
baby
get
cat is
baptized in the ocean.
here.
Are you supposed to get baptized in the ocean, D?
You know what?
I don't think so.
Why
You're not
not?
supposed to.
Why not?
Something about the sea. It's
It's
in the
water.
Bible. I've read it. Something about you're not supposed to be baptized in this. It's just like missionaries when they come back from a mission, they can't go in the ocean for 6 months. Yep.
Really?
Yes, I
Never
know
heard.
that because I
Whose
lived with a lot
church
of
is
missionaries.
that? Whose church is that?
LDS, Latter Day Saints. They're actually
Oh, no wonder. Okay, it was one of the weird
religious, but
ones.
they didn't tell
Okay.
you that, because I went through all the
You
Mormon
know
missionary.
what? I never heard that in my life, and it certainly wasn't in
Well,
the
when they came
Bible.
back from missions, the missionaries weren't allowed to go to the beach, right? Because we all want to go to the beach, but they had to wait for like 6 months before they could go to the beach.
Oh, for God's sake! Come on! What?
Well, they
What
have
else?
we
Are
know
they
they're
the ones with the
relatives.
magic? Who has the magic underpants?
Well, I don't know something about
Yeah, Ken is saying magic underpants. It's like, yeah, isn't there one that has magic underpants? One of them.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it
that's the
the?
Mormons. They have the garments. They have to wear the
Yeah, they
garments.
have to wear the
Oh my
garments. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Then they're afraid to wash them because they're holy.
No, they wash them. I used to have to
They
wash all
do
the garments.
wash them.
Yeah, I used to have to
Okay,
wash them
good. I'm glad to hear
and
that.
hang them on the line that was my job. I lived with a bishop, so I was their foster child, so that's a quote for slave, right? Yeah, I did all the
Yeah.
chores and picked up all the rocks, and they thought it was a little Mexican girl because my dad lied about his last name, he was a Phelps, but actually he was a Moya. Well, the other way around. It was Anyway, they thought I was a Mexican girl. Yeah. I don't even have Mexican blood in me. I'm freaking Irish. Yeah.
Ah,
I'm English, Irish, French, Polynesian. Yeah. I don't even have Mexican.
oh, it's probably the Polynesian that they were seeing, but
Oh, do you like my
I mean, that's crazy anyway, though.
I got roses? Uh-oh, right there.
That's crazy anyway.
I bought those on eBay. The cherry blossoms. I love
Yeah,
them up the
those are
wall. You
pretty.
see them on the wall? Yeah, those are
Yep.
decals. I love those
Oh,
decals.
really little decals. That's cool. No, I
You
thought
see
it
the
was real cherry
butterflies?
blossoms.
Yeah, they're little
I'm kidding.
butterflies. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ah,
Over
I'm
here, I
kidding.
got some more.
No, I like those.
Well, you know why I did this, D? I
I
was
would probably put stuff like that up here too if I could reach up that high to do that.
I was trying to change the frequency of this room because it was kind of
Hmm.
haunted in here.
Right.
And so my son was haunting it, but he's alive. Make sense of that, D. I kept hearing him in here. I even have
Oh,
him what is that called when you hear a
Oh
voice?
my goodness, he's got soul loss.
So my son's spirit is in my
Did
house, but
you
he's
hear me?
alive. Huh? What?
He's
Say
got
that
soul
again.
loss. He
What does that
has.
mean? Can you?
Shamanically, that is a sign of that he
He can
has
split
part of.
himself. Yeah, he can split himself in different. Because he would be here when I was watching Kenna, right, his daughter, but he didn't want to be
Yeah.
away from her, so his spirit would be with her, and she would tell me where he was, because she would
Okay,
freak
then maybe
out.
it's not so lost. Maybe he just bilocates.
Okay, he bilocates. That's what I think it is. Because, but he doesn't. He actually talked to me. He said, "What are you doing, Mom?"
Mhm.
He didn't want me to put up the.
Well, people have said that I've done that too when I was at places I couldn't possibly physically
Yeah,
be.
I heard him. I actually taped it because I was doing a video. I
Okay,
can't
and did
find the
it come
video.
out on the tape?
Yeah, his voice came out. He said, "Mom, what is this, Mom?" He kept talking to me.
Well, that's a freaking
Oh,
we want to hear that.
oh, you want to hear that story? There's so many stories, D. Which one do
Yeah,
you guys? Which
I
one you
know.
want
That's like
to hear?
me. What do I tell you? I'm glad
There's
for Ben to
so
come
many
up and
spooky
ask me because otherwise I
times.
got so many, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, the other night, okay, the most recent
I don't
thing
know
that
where to
happened to
start.
me was the UFOs up there. Okay, they pretend to be stars. Because, I have nothing better to do, right? So I look up at the stars and I memorize the time where the stars are, right? And every night there's
Hmm.
different stars up there because they're not stars, they're UFOs. So I challenge myself to see, okay, how many I can count a night, right? That I know or not.
Hmm.
And then I caught a couple moving and doing some things because nobody looks up here, right?
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah.
Well, they weren't really stars then,
Okay, so they're
probably.
they're these drones or whatever they are, they're like these little boxes, right? And they
Hmm.
they spin and they change colors and they
Hmm.
they actually blink at each other like they're talking, to one another
Hmm.
because there's a lot of them up there. And I don't know if they're
So
all
they're
ours.
actually box shaped, but they just look round because they spin, huh?
Right. And there's larger ones.
Interesting.
They're larger, different size ones, and then there's motherships up there. Big, huge, like the size of the whole city. But they put clouds around it,
Yep,
and
I
they
believe it.
and you could see the outline. Guess what? Okay, I have this ability. I don't know where I get it, D. I was gonna ask you about it.
Yeah.
All I have to do in my mind is say, "Where are you?" And then the clouds will come, and then I can see the outline of a ship. It's like they're saying, "We're right here." All I have to do is say, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
And then they go, "Oh, I'm right here," and they show me where they are. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
That's your family.
Okay, that's what I thought because they don't
Your
feel.
real
They,
family.
they feel like they watch over me all the time. Yeah,
Yeah, that's your
they're
real
always
family.
watching. Yeah, always.
I know. I got real family too, and they happen to be blue.
Hmm. Okay, and the cat's been watching something. Um, are they fairies? Maybe fair. Oh yeah, and guess what happened today, D? The first time in my
Yeah.
life this ever happened. A hummingbird came right up to me and started talking to me. Oh my
Cool.
god!
Spirit
Oh,
messenger,
oh! He
animal
came right
spirit
up to
messenger.
me and he did it
Yeah,
with like
cool. What did he say?
I don't know. I was trying not to freak out because I didn't want it to fly away. But I think it was because I put this perfume on that smells like lychees and carnations. It's my favorite scent.
Mhm.
And I think the bird said, "Oh, I like that." He liked it too.
Like the smell.
He liked the
Remember that
smell.
most things don't talk in words, they talk in feelings, they talk in
Yeah.
images.
The hummingbird has been visiting me all week. It's the same one.
Mhm.
There's also a couple bees that I know. Why am I talking to bees and trees too?
They're nectar drinkers.
And then
That's
I
pretty
saw the
cool.
golden dragonflies too. D, what's happening to me? I feel like
You're on that. You got on the right train,
whoa.
okay?
But it's like nature's talking to me. It's weird. Weird. But I
That's
love it.
gonna happen. What did I just tell you guys?
It's
If you're
crazy.
attracted to this channel and the stuff I talk about, you've already got a foot in the fourth dimension, okay? And
Think
you're
I
heading for five, and
do.
you're beginning to have five touch you. Or
Hey,
or
Ben,
you could
I'll
say
say,
density, or you could say
oh,
frequency.
hmm yeah, our frequencies are all lining up for something big's gonna happen. I
Right.
have a feeling. I don't know what, but we'll
And
find out,
really,
right?
that's one of the things that happens when your frequency is higher. That is one of the gifts that you get back is you
I
can
remember part of
mind
my dream.
speak, okay? With
Uh-huh.
animals and stuff, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so when I woke up this morning, I remember being in a vortex and I was grabbing the tail of something. That was the last memory I had. And I had to
Yeah.
grab onto it so I could make it through the door or something like that.
Ah,
Trying to
make it
figure out.
through the door. Interesting. Interesting imagery.
I know it just felt like, okay, remember when Lord of the Rings, remember
Mm-hmm.
he thought he killed that dragon. Remember, you cannot pass, right? You shall not pass. Remember that
Uh-huh.
part? And remember the dragon that he thought he got, and then at the very end, that tail. Remember the tail that grabbed him? Okay, so
Uh-huh.
in my
Hey, Woo
dream, I
Riders. Woo
instead of the
Riders is in.
I was grabbing the tail instead of the. I don't know. It was weird. Oh yeah, another weird thing happened today. I don't know. Okay, let's just say
I
it.
even
Okay.
talked to stones. I even talked to
Uh,
stones and minerals. I
okay.
talked to,
D, I
and
have
they
a
talk
walk in.
back. So,
I have a walk in. D.
yeah.
I got a walk in.
Yeah.
I I just
What does that mean to you?
I freaked out today. I didn't know why, but then
Yeah.
I felt something within me and I couldn't turn it off and it roared. I roared and I don't know where it came from. I'm scared, D.
Could
It's a
that be
walk
when
in.
you're
Is that vortex that I grabbed maybe this morning? Do you think something okay, because I
maybe?
never did that before. I growled at Leroy today and I never did that before. I scared me. But I was watching David,
Well,
the House of David. Okay.
yeah.
Remember that part? Okay, so there's a
No, I
part
never
in
saw
there.
it. Mm.
Okay, well it's in the Bible. You're talking about King David, right? It's in the
Yeah.
Bible. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a part in there where they killed this Samuel had to come because what was the other one who didn't he was he proclaimed to be king of Israel, didn't give God any credit, right?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, he was supposed to kill the witch king. God said to kill him, but they didn't kill him. They locked him up and put him in a cage on display. And anyway, you think something in that movie jumped into me, huh?
Well, it depends on, well, the TV is
I know, I know. I think maybe something.
television. I mean, it's literally programming.
Okay, your higher self stepped in for a minute. Yeah, it growled. I growled, Scotty boy. I was like, what the fuck, man? What the hell? Even my husband was like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go outside and do my breathing. To there was someone else in
Ken's
me.
got kookaburras laughing at him.
Okay, so it was the part where he killed the lion.
Oh, okay.
You know.
I don't think it's something. It doesn't feel like it's something dark. It could just
No,
be
it
one
feels
of your
like
guides.
it's one of yeah, it's something powerful because I never
Could
felt that
just
kind of
be one
power.
of your guides is trying to come to you. Just relax and
No, man,
tell
I
it to
never
talk
felt
and say
that before.
nothing evil can be near me.
Okay,
Now, if you're not evil,
okay.
you can talk
But do you
to
sense
me.
anything? Nothing, right? Because how do you know you
Right.
have
If
a?
you don't feel anything evil from it, then listen
No,
to it.
I don't.
Say, what do you got to say to me? I do that all the time. You guys have seen me do this on the
So
show.
just ask it. Yeah.
I don't know if you were paying any attention, but
I always
at
pay
the time, I have no idea if you were paying attention, considering I look at the chat and I go, "You guys even paying attention to what I'm saying?" But anyway, maybe you
Well,
do,
it's just
maybe you
hard
don't. I
because
don't know.
there's so many spirits in my complex, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm in an old folks uh place where a lot of old folks live, senior housing. Okay,
Okay, so there was
you
one
want to
time.
bet there
You know,
where were some ghosts when I came, but
okay, so I saw some creatures walking around, okay?
yeah,
And they're translucent. They're translucent. So most people don't
cool.
see them because they walk around. Maybe they're in a suit. I don't know. But I see those people too. I don't say nothing, but I see them because I sound crazy if I say I see them, right? Yeah,
No,
they're
well, you
translucent.
don't
I think
sound crazy.
they're aliens, but they're
Why would you
translucent.
sound crazy? That I
Yeah,
think some well,
I
probably
got
we.
some deep ancestry. Yep, that's true too. I got
Well,
Illuminati blood. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them look like that when they're walking around. They look. Do you just see?
No, but
It's
like,
like,
okay, so like I was on my patio, right, D? Right? Okay.
uh-huh.
Saw a being because you know how the light shines sometimes? It's remember Predator, that movie Predator? And it's just the right light you can see like a chameleon on the tree, right? Yeah, I
Mm,
saw that. It was just like Predator, but it was
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it
That's
disappeared.
somebody cloaked.
Okay. I don't know if it's a creature or what, or if it's military, right? But I've seen a lot of that going on. I don't know how to describe it, right? Cloaking. It's right out of Harry Potter, though. Remember?
Yeah. Well, the
I love that.
concept is not new.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen it in everything from Lord of
Oh
the
yeah.
Rings to Star Trek. You know, so.
Well, I had something growling. was
Well,
it the
if
was it the
you have,
Lion
what did
King?
it sound like, Hook?
Okay, it sounded like a roar, like a lion.
It was probably a
Who's a
Lyran.
lion? Maybe I'm Lyrian.
Probably your family.
Is that Lyrian? Huh?
I got a message from Othello and Andros last night.
Really? What did they say?
Well, they don't really talk in words exactly like what we've been
Yeah,
saying, but
yeah. Just like my dad, he doesn't talk in words.
the feeling is we're nearby. We are going to see each other in the flesh at some point, and I am not to worry about a thing because we're on the upswing. We're not heading down anymore. I got a lot of reassurances that we're on the upswing now. Um we are not heading for bad times at all. We're heading for much better
Yeah,
times.
it could be a
Much
golden
better than
age
we can
coming.
even imagine right now. And to keep on what I'm doing, keep on doing what I'm doing, keep on doing my intentions, keep on doing what I'm doing, but not to worry so
See that?
much because I could be a worrywart if I allow myself.
Yeah.
And just keep on working on what you're working on and let my inner child express itself through art
Okay. All right, I'm
because
gonna let you
sometimes
go.
I feel
I've
guilty.
seen this ugly old lady enough.
Will you quit that? Will you quit saying that? What have I taught
Oh,
you guys a million times?
I know, but it's hard to look at myself. I'm not gonna lie. I can't look at me. I can't stand me. Isn't that terrible? I thought I was over this, D. I thought I
Well,
forgave
it may be
myself.
layers. What do I ever taught? What do I always tell you about layers? If it
I thought
comes up
I
again,
was
it's just
ready.
another layer. Peel that one off, and there'll probably be another one for who knows
Okay,
how long. But just keep
right.
going through it, and
Yeah.
eventually you'll be
All right.
okay.
I'll be okay.
You'll be
It's just
okay
a mother
eventually.
thing. I look just like Wanda, and then I look just like her mom, and I'm glad that my daughter doesn't hate me as like that.
Well, see, you're already breaking the curse.
Yeah, and she made up for the shiner she gave me a couple years ago on Mother's Day. Okay. Shh.
Mm,
Oh, I have to forgive her for it, right?
yeah,
But I died. Some part of me died that day.
it's rough. I mean,
She
my
hit
mother
me
used to do.
right in the eye. She aimed, and I was on my knees. I was on my knees. Why did she have to hit me? Fuck. That's why I hate myself. Okay.
You know,
I
somebody else's version of you should
have to
never
face.
influence your version of you, okay?
I have to face myself. I think that's my biggest challenge is facing
Hmm.
me. I'm the monster.
Well, yeah, we beat up ourselves a lot of times, and we don't really need to do that. I mean, and you keep calling yourself an old lady. Why do you even do that?
There's
You
nothing.
don't need to put yourself down. Other people will do that. I mean, we had other people in our lives do it for us, right? We don't need to do any of that for ourselves. We already had that.
But I don't like to tell lies, and that's just the way I feel.
Honey,
And that's
you are not
honestly how
ugly,
I feel.
okay? You are not
Okay,
ugly. Now let me tell you something.
I'm just honest right now. I'm being honest.
I'm looking at my pictures from a long time ago when certain people were telling me that I was ugly. And I'm looking and I'm thinking what a good looking woman I was. Then, even then, I was such a good looking woman. How big of liars they were. They were lying dogs. So let me tell you, everybody in this chat is looking at you saying, what the hell are you talking about, ugly? Well,
Oh,
that's not what we see.
thanks, you guys.
So, who are you going to listen to? The bullshit? Why listen to the bullshit?
Remember that line from Pretty?
Somebody's bullshit opinion of you from
Remember
way
that
back.
line? Remember that line from Pretty Woman? Because
No.
it's easier to believe the bad stuff. It's easier.
Well, depending on how you're raised, yeah. I mean, it
It's
is.
easier. It's easier just to
Yeah.
believe everything you're told.
I still
Right?
fight with this. I'm an older woman now. My hair is not as thick as it used to be, and blah yada yada blah yada. You know,
I
and
know.
I could sit there,
Um.
and you know what my guides tell me all the time? They say you need to accept the way you look.
Yeah.
You are not unattractive. How many times
Daughter
have
said
people
that
come
to me
in and called me
yesterday.
beautiful? And I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I'm like, I'm still surprised when somebody comes in and calls me beautiful.
Well,
We
my
don't
daughter
know we're beautiful at the
too.
time, but we
She,
are. And
she
you
said
know
that
what?
too.
Everybody thinks you're
Yeah.
beautiful. So just
But my daughter looks really beautiful, and she says, "Mom, I look just like you, so you can't say that I'm pretty because you're pretty too." Because I do kind of look like her.
right. You can't keep saying you're ugly if you look like your daughter who's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
cut it out.
All right. I gotta
And
stop doing
how
that
many times
stuff.
have I told you your mouth, dude, your words, quit pushing the wrong
Yeah.
button, okay?
It's just I'm
Eh,
messed up. I'm broken. Sorry.
Yeah, well, so are we all. And then we put ourselves back together, and that's how we become
Yeah.
strong.
He Dumpty.
You know? We put ourselves back, we
No, you know who I am.
rebuild ourselves.
I'm Kenny from South Park. I get killed every episode and I come back.
They get killed every episode. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm Kenny.
You want to beat me for that? As I used to have so many. I had so many near death
Me
experiences
too. How
that
many?
I'm like,
Ever?
yeah. I just keep bouncing. It's like, nope, not quite dead yet.
Yeah, but
I
they
could
say
pull
that every
through.
time you have a near death, you have a walk in. That's what I read.
Not necessary. No.
I know. I don't feel like something else is here with me. I feel like this is all me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Because today something roared inside of me. What the hell?
Could just be your Lyran background because you're probably Lyran because honestly, dear, you're here. And
Who killed?
I
Oh,
mean,
Yeah.
And there are Lyrans around right now. They are really, really
Where's my
they're really prevalent right now.
I had a little stress doll that I used to, as I opened at Mandalay Bay. It was very stressful, so I had a stress doll. It was Kenny.
Mhm.
No, it was Kyle. You remember Kyle from South Park?
No.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny. You
I
have
don't
to.
remember
Yeah,
South
he
Park. I
was the
remember
Jewish
Kenny
one.
only because I kept killing Kenny.
Well, it was the Jewish one. Yeah.
Oh, okay, the Jewish
It
one.
was
Okay.
I bought it at Tower Records. Remember
Hey,
Tower Records?
Kiki.
Oh, I miss Tower Records. Remember all the good stores we used to have? Maybe they'll come back. You
Yeah.
think, Dee? Woolworths will come
I
back?
don't know, or something like that, maybe, or
Twisties.
something better, maybe even.
Huh? I
How
want
about if
some
we just intend that
Twisties.
something even better comes back?
15-cent ice cream scoops. What's better than 15 cents a scoop? Huh?
10-cent ones.
Oh, I remember when they were 10 cents. Ew, we used to go there when I was like 5 years old. So I
So
remember.
we say Idaho, and Kiki appears.
Ah,
See
Kiki.
how good we are at manifesting? Okay, we're really good at
I'm a
manifesting.
big South Park, but the old South Park. After Chef died, I didn't watch any because I love Chef, and it's not the same without Chef. So I watched them all until Chef died. Isaac Hayes played Chef. You know, I love Isaac Hayes. Rest his rest his heart. Do you guys like Isaac Hayes? He was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, he was.
I remember.
Yeah, he
We
made it.
had we really had great music, though. We had some
Yeah,
epic
didn't we?
music.
Yeah.
Cartman being abducted by E.T.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite. That was my
Yeah,
first
Lewis says
one.
he's a Cartman type. Hmm. Don't go alone in the gas station open 2 hours a day, 2 times a week. Oh my God, where?
Mrs. Crabtree. Remember Mrs. Crabtree?
Yeah.
She was the bus driver, and she ran off with the what was his name? He had the Elvis. He sounded like Elvis.
Uh, oh, the
my
chocolate
favorite.
salty balls. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
that was my favorite episode. Was
Salty
when they were
balls.
on the in the bus. Remember, and that thing kept eating the children.
Oh God.
I'm sick, but it was funny. Remember Lois? Do you remember that one?
Remember the sea monkeys one?
Oh, the one that she went to. It was Jennifer Aniston. Was one of my favorite ones too. Remember Jennifer Aniston? She went to the what was the? They went on a trip to the Amazon in the rainforest, and they
Oh
had to do a
God.
dance and a singing thing, and it was funny. And then they got attacked by you know, the creatures that live in the jungle. It was hilarious.
Creatures that lived in the jungle.
Yeah, and then they had her swim.
Lions and
Yeah,
tigers and
Jennifer
bears, oh
Aniston
my.
was in it. It was so funny. I love that one. It's called the Rainforest. Look it up. Go punch it into YouTube. Put South Park Rainforest. It's hilarious.
I may one day. I've got so
There's
many
this
things to
one.
do, though.
He's on the bus and he's making fun of the hookers, and it was crazy funny. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The teacher with Mr. Hanky.
Yeah, Mr. Hanky.
uh,
No, that
oh,
was
there are yellow
the
brick
dude that
roads
smoked.
somewhere
Remember the one that smoked
from the
marijuana?
1800s. They look like they go nowhere. Wow, that's something. I didn't know that. Where? Where is this? Where do they have
Uh,
yellow brick roads?
Yellow brick
Kitty.
road way out there from the 1800s that look like they go nowhere. Yeah, Michelle Gibson is having she knows about all those weird stuff like that.
Yeah, Michelle Gibson. Yeah, she does. She checks into all that.
She just released one about um teku, you know, I don't know how to say it. The one in South America when the aliens built. and
I'm the
that goes
psychiatrist in
around
South Park.
the whole earth. She was saying about all the military bases that are on the alignment with Teotihuacan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching some of it today. It's 3 hours long, so I could only watch some of
Kind
it.
of amazing, except it's not really.
It's
There's a
theory. She doesn't
reason.
know.
There's a
She's just
reason.
going with what's there and proof of that our history is not what they say it is.
Of course not.
Yeah. But will we ever know the truth?
I will guarantee you that almost everything that we've ever been told is wrong.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that maybe we've been told like 1% truth. Maybe that much, maybe not that
Seen the
much.
guy.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I like Caesar Milan. I love the dog whisper dude. I do. I mean, he went through a lot of crap. Remember Daddy? I love that. I love Daddy. I'm a big dog
So
whisper.
wait a minute, wait. There are
I'm
yellow
waiting.
brick roads out in the middle of nowhere in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana.
Ever to talk to them.
I'm sorry. I had to.
Wow.
Okay,
So
we need to
Wizard of
look
Oz is
into that a
quiet.
little more. What were you saying? I'm sorry, Hook. I mean, that was
Oh,
just
I
like
was
what?
reading Scotty's post. He was talking about Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer.
Oh, yeah, dog whisper.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
His real name is Caesar Milan. Yeah.
Yeah, I think is he the
I
one
love
that
him.
wears the weird clothes?
No, no. He teaches you how to train your dog and to know when the dog,
Oh,
so
okay.
the dog don't bite and bark a lot.
I know more
All
about
that.
Jason Galaxy because I'm a cat woman.
Oh yeah, I like
I'm
the
a
cat
crazy
dude
cat
too.
woman.
Yeah, I like that cat dude. What's his name? See, I don't know any
Jason
animals.
Galaxy.
Okay, see. I guess I watched Caesar longer. I'm sorry.
He's kind of a funny
I kind
looking
of fell in
dude
love with
with.
Daddy.
He's
I love
actually a
Daddy.
musician.
Okay. And Julie.
Jason Galaxy is actually a musician who's also a cat
Yeah,
whisperer.
South Park and Caesar Milan. Yeah, those are. And I do love to watch diners, drive-ins, and dives. I know. I got to eat lunch and watch it every day. I do like those cooking shows. They're fun to watch.
Oh yeah, the cooking shows. I used to
Or
watch
the
those.
one last chef standing. Ooh, that one is a good one. Ooh, it's competition and cookers.
Oh, Mr. Mission Control says he's got to go or his coach will turn
Okay.
into a pumpkin.
Okay. Good
Okay,
night.
Mr. Mission Control. You know,
Okay,
I
I'm gonna
don't
go.
watch TV anymore, and I really
Bye,
don't watch a
guys.
lot of these shows. I really watch this kind of stuff. I watch the kind of stuff that like my show is. That's what I watch. I don't, and I watch some of the citizen journalists like, oh heck, Stephen Gardner. He usually knows news. He brings up the news. There's a couple of them. Sail Daddy brings up the news. So I get my news from people who actually knows around and give you actual news, not TV. So where'd you go? Oh, you took off. Okay. Gordon Ramsay. Uh-huh. There's a lot of yellow brick roads, but they lead to cow pastures and high alpine elk and really, that's really bizarre. Maybe there's some meaning to it that we don't know. Huh. And they're yellow brick. Must have been made out of yellow clay. Wow. Huh. Isn't that interesting? That's bizarre. Um, well, anyway, yeah, it was good to see you up here. I'm glad you came up. Some are gray, but the ones high up are usually yellow. Huh. Isn't that interesting? The ones high up. There's got to be a reason why they had yellow brick road in Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, okay? I've always thought that's got to mean something else. So there really are yellow brick roads. And they're usually high up. Maybe this has something to do with Tartaria or something. I mean, maybe the higher up maybe was a different area. Yeah, the Wizard of Oz has so much stuff in it, like the red shoes. The red shoes are symbolic of selling your soul, you know? Yeah. The shoes in the story weren't originally red. They were originally silver. But for the movie, they made them red. Supposedly so they'd stand out more. But it could also be the occult meaning, which is you sold your soul. Well, yeah, I actually follow several people that do that go and look through the strange relics and broken down buildings. Yeah. Have you ever been tossed, Scotty? Kami hami hami ha habi kami hamim. Oh, you mean Kami lobby Kami law? Mamala Kamala? I don't know. We had one around here. I sure wanted to toss him somewhere. He was a pain in the butt. Oh, that's okay, Kiki. We're just glad you came by. Your bright and shining countenance was right here with us. We're just glad you came by, honey. Yeah. Ooh, earthquake in Illinois. Yeah, we're gonna have. That's one thing I was gonna say, guys. We're gonna see more earthquakes. Yeah, we are. And I think I I swear, whatever that has been bubbling under the water, I think it's getting ready to blow, whatever that is. I keep seeing that thing. I don't know what that is. A volcano, a fissure in the earth, whatever the fuck it is. It's going to be important one day and we'll see what it is. I am wearing a Zedulite. Thanks for being live. Kiki says, love you, D. Thanks for being live. Well, thank you. I'm kind of glad to be live too. Yeah, I wouldn't have missed this for the world. Hmm. Well, it's interesting because bricks come in the 4 colors, basically, supposedly. Gonna rip a new rift zone. Yeah. Yeah. It's Mahalo for coming up here, honey. It made it more interesting. Ken, you coming up? You gonna get your ass up here, Aussie boy? I gotta tease Ken a little bit. Or I think I don't love him no more. I don't want Ken to think I don't care. And if I don't threaten to spank Scotty, he'll think I don't love him no more. And here I'm a slut. I love you all. No, that isn't being a slut. I'm just being silly. Mount Misery? If there's a mountain named Misery, will you please stay away from there? My God. Oh, gosh, really? Hang on, Rotman. I'll go. Oh, wait. Let me go to the channel and I'll sub. There. Okay. Go sub to Rotman's channel. Okay. Yes, that's right. Okay, so okay. I don't know if I'm still on. I don't know if it will be though, because it's about 3 hours. We're coming up on about 3 hours. Garnets. Oh, I love garnets. They're nice. You'll mount misery. Scotty, you'll mount almost you'll mount almost anything, Scotty. Yeah, or maybe that movie Misery. Oh no. That was a scary movie. Yeah, try to avoid copyright strikes so that we don't have to keep changing it. We don't have to keep subbing to some new channel. By the way, I'm going to say it again. Alexander the Ganga Shaman is threatening to come see us on Wednesday right here on the Ocean's Deep Woo. Wow, that's cool, Kitty. I'd love to have a whole bunch of garnets. That'd be fun. The only thing, garnets supposedly they make you look more beautiful. However, they can also help you gain weight. So you gotta watch it. Yeah. So send me a couple pounds. I should put them in the fish tank. Wouldn't that be interesting as a fish tank? I got a new fish, by the way. I think I told you. I don't know what to name him. He's red, white, and blue. He's mostly white. His body is white. He's got blue fins. They're kind of navy blue. And blue on the tail, and then it goes out into red at the ends. And he's a crown tail. Scratch! Where is Scratch? I haven't seen Scratch in ages. Did something happen to Scratch? He was on some of the shows I used to go to. I don't think he ever made it over to my show. Huh. Yeah. Marca. Marca says Chloe Marca. Oh my gosh, he passed away. Oh, well, then we can see him anytime. Might run into him just any time then. Of course, I wouldn't know because I had no idea what he looked like. Yeah, and don't allow puck on your pen. Nobody allowed puck on the panel. Why? Because why? Ah, Scratch. He's probably listening and laughing. He's probably listening to us right now because we're talking about him. Yeah, I used to talk to him a lot, but he was short and I'm tall. He threatened once. He said, Do you mind if I climb you? He really liked me, but there was no chance of a actual relationship. Because for one thing, we were nowhere near each other. uh, it didn't really talk to him. What didn't really talk to who? What I totally am. I'm totally. You know what? I try to follow chat, but there's so many things going on that I have no idea. Was he? Oh, cool. Hello, Johnny. Yeah, he was very short. I guess he was 4 foot something, but we got along and talked and everything. And when I told him I'm about 5'10", and he goes, "Oh, good Lord, you know, oh no, do you mind if I climb you?" It's like, well, never actually had that as a request before. I have to think about it. Puck just needs to get over himself. Yeah, he just needs to get over himself, and maybe he'll get that way. Maybe he'll get a clue one day. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope he gets over it someday. But he's kind of he's lost all his chances with me. It's over. As far as me giving him any play, ain't no way. Tengu Kitty says it's time for bed, right? Meow. Yeah, Cowboy was here when Hook was up here. He was saying hi, Hook, but he's been camped out in front of the fan because it's hot over here now. Okay. Okay, I think it's finally stopped raining out, so I think I'm about to close it up anyway, hun, because it's been about 3 hours, and I am not gonna pay for. I'm not gonna pay for StreamYard. I'm gonna keep under the hours, and unless it makes me money, I ain't paying for it. So I ain't paying for StreamYard. So I'm gonna keep under the hours when I use StreamYard. So I want to thank y'all for coming up on my show. I want to thank you for your stories, your questions, your lovely presence, your confusing and, chat. I don't know what half of it was about, but hey, it's hard to follow sometimes when I'm also trying to do a show. But thank you for that, because even that helps. And okay, love you all. And glad y'all showed up. I think we had a pretty good time. And remember, Wednesday, we're going to have Alexander the Ganga Shaman, if all goes well. And that should be fun. He's always telling us what's coming up. We'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up for the month. It should be a good show. Yeah. Okay. Now remember. Okay. Something, yeah, see, stuff is going on anyway. Yeah. Stuff is starting to happen anyway, and Cowboy wants to go to bed. He wants to cuddle. Okay, love you guys. Truth is where you find it. Hope you're always finding some here. Come back next time to see Alexander the Ganga Shaman. Going to give us a numerology report. And don't forget to like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, well, why the fuck didn't you like it? But anyway, and I'll see you next time. Love y'all. Okay. Good night. And please don't click the wrong links so the algorithm doesn't give you shit, okay? If you click the wrong links in this life, the algorithm will just bring you bullshit, okay? It's a fucking algorithm. Okay. Love you. Bye bye.